Alrighty. I don't have the patience to wait for the entire 15-minute thing, okay? So we're just going to start streaming, and we're going to try not to say any bad words, okay? For the next 7 minutes. No bad words. How's everybody doing today? And if we're going to do stuff in the background, music in the background, then I think probably something that's a little chiller. Let's go. And look at that on a 3-stream streak. All right. Let me just see here. So what we're going to probably be doing today is looking through some of the, looking at some of the DNC stuff. We're going to be looking at probably some stuff from the content suggestions, but it seems like people keep on linking me. Oh, I said a bad word. Dang it. I can't stop myself. I just have a horrible vocabulary. People keep on linking Jimmy Dore. But Jimmy Dore is legitimately one of the most unintelligent, useless political commentators of all time. I don't think that there's anyone that has a worse track record of being A, wrong on stuff, and B, being, you know, a decent human being. Oops. Ubermans. I think you mean to say, can I even say? It's German. It doesn't count. Ubermensch? Untermensch? Is that what you're trying to say? Or Ubermans? Okay, yeah. Not a kind word. Man, you know, I used to get into so much trouble for saying subhuman. For calling people subhuman when they were really stupid. I got in so much trouble for that. It was so stupid. Like, you can't call people the mean R word. You can't call people, you know, any like mean names like that. You have to like reduce your vocabulary to that of like PG, not even PG-13. Oh well. Anyway, so we're gonna look at some of that stuff, and I've become obsessed with Pokemon, so sorry. That will be. Who is calling? Listen, it's not the law. Listen. It's not the law. It's the way people will attack me over it, okay? I've been, you know, one of the really funny things about having an editor that uses AI to track, you know, all these different metrics. He uses AI to track when I say bad words, right? And dude, the amount of times I used to say retard. 1 second. Okay, sorry. Anyway, it used to be like easily, very, very easily, like over 100 every stream, every single stream. But I've reduced that in last stream. I think I only said it once. All right. It's just a word. It's just a word that I need to like kick from my vocabulary. I like it too. I think it hits just right for some of these people, right? I don't have a problem with the word itself, but just like how mad people get about it, I should probably bust that out of my vocabulary before, you know, meeting some of these coastal elites, okay? They are mad because bad. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting distracted. The ADD medicine is still trying to get, you know, into my bloodstream, so. I've been going out with a girl who is also a gamer, and she's put it back into my vocab, and I'm here for it. Let's go, dude. Catch you later, Mr. Warren. There's been a lot of, actually, like, I've been seeing people make whole threads about whether it's okay or not okay to say the R word, but which is not a conversation that you would think requires an entire Twitter thread. You wouldn't think. 1 second. Neurologically challenged. I mean, that would I mean, I don't know. Like, listen, don't ask me to explain why these people are the way they are. I can't explain it to you. All right. You're auto-modded? I don't even have it. I don't even have that. Man, I don't understand why people in my Discord are roasting me for going on the Hippy Dippy show on Sunday. Can someone explain that to me? Because I just don't understand. It's because I'm a gay grass toucher now. Yeah. Yeah. I've talked about this like a lot, especially when I was mostly just on YouTube, but like there's a lot of stuff that I've just kind of grown out of, and I didn't even realize it until, you know, like more situations started popping up. But like, especially with all the like drama stuff that happens in this space and just like online in general, the things that I find fun when it comes to drama and the stuff that I find fun when it comes to, you know, fighting people in the fighting people on the internet is just very different now. Like when there's drama, like I just want to, and I did it with tomfoolery, I just want to ask, like, why do you think this is a normal person thing to do? Do you think that this is a normal person thing to do? Do you think that your response here was like a rational thing to do? Like I guess I just like, when it comes especially to drama, not only to drama, but especially with drama, I think I've lost my content brain, man, because I just can't find a way to be interested, you know? Next, you'll be lighting sage around the house. Hold on, that is not a normie thing to do. That is a very abnormal thing to do. All right. Do you know how many crystal shops there are? Just like brick and mortar, like they just sell crystals and sage and incense and shit. And I don't understand why people like fall for that. No, I'm not a crystal girly, okay? I'm making fun of those people. You know, there was one time I had a coworker, I think this was like 2018, maybe 2019. I can't quite remember. I had a coworker, and I think it was the day she had like a like extremely violent boyfriend who, like, I think I've told this story on stream before, where me and like, I think we got like a crew of like random dudes, and we both, all 10 of us plus her, went to this guy's house to get all of her shit because he was like not letting her leave and not letting her get her shit, trying to blackmail her into staying with him. But I think that day that we were going to do that, before we went, right after we both got off work, she was like, I know this sounds crazy, but I need to go somewhere. And we went to this crystal shop in a strip mall near work. And she bought like a fistful of crystals and like put them in a little pouch and then shoved it in her pocket. And she's like, okay, now I can go. And it's like, all right, I don't think that's the crystals that are going to be protecting you there, girly. All right, I think it's going to be like the 10 angry dudes that are going to be posted up outside this house. I smack my GF if she threatens to talk to my wife. Hey, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. All right, just be careful, just in case she gets some of those crystals. You never know what will happen. The energy latent inside of them. I love burning sage. It's one of the few things I can smell well. I don't even know if I know what burning sage smells like, if I'm honest. Also, Sieg, in the Discord, I don't understand. I'm not as invested in the whole like hippy dippy panel scene anymore. If they don't invite me to something, I'm not going to be like as upset. Plus, I understand like from like where the organizers are, why they choose people when they do. But, you know, if if it makes me a cuck and I'm just like, crawling to the hippy dippy overlords or whatever for like a crumb of clout, if that's what the appearance is, like, I don't know. I was just asked if I wanted to be on. Originally, there was going to be like 2 people on there that were significantly larger that I'm chill with as a stepping stool. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I don't see myself as helping anybody, really, because they could... Who runs Hippy Dippy? Well, the one that I'm going to is run by Danabo, and it's going to be moderated by Westside Tyler. Oh, look at that. There's Admiral Gibbs. No, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for drone tech. I don't know if I'm ready for both you and... drone tech, okay? But the last time I debated... Listen. The last time I debated drone tech, he deleted his entire Discord server. So I feel like I can either bully him into submission so that I can deal with you like completely spurging out. Otherwise, I don't know, because I don't know. I don't know either of the other 2 conservatives, and I also I have a slight DM history with the hippie Jesus guy. I know who Nina is, and I don't want to like badmouth her because she seems like a nice person, right? But I don't know the other person, I don't know the other person, but I've been told that she was a regular in Mindwave's chat, and Mindwaves hates me. You don't know Drone Tech? No, Gibbs. Like, as crazy as you are, in my opinion, all right? As crazy as you are, Drone Tech is crazier. He's like the 40-year-old boomer who like is a quarter step away from being a QAnoner. Y'all got Nina? I don't know a lot about her. I don't know how she does in debate settings very much. She seems nice. I don't think that she's going to do a lot of heavy lifting in the debate. She wilds out. Oh, cool. That's not something that we need on our side. There's already going to be 2 people on y'all's side, you and Drone Tech, at least. I don't know the other 2 guys, but like, you have extremely, extremely high energy. And Drone Tech is just like, it's not even an immovable object in a good way, right? He's an immovable object in that he will never concede a goddamn point. Even when he's blatantly wrong, even when everyone on his side is telling him, hey, like, what the are you talking about? Who's Nina? She seems nice. I've been on a panel with her once or twice, but she didn't say very much on that panel. There's only one that I can remember. I told her last night, everyone get in the hands. Listen. It's not even that I think that Drone Tech is a bad person. I just think that he's like, he's too invested in shit that doesn't actually affect him, and he is obsessed with things that he thinks affect him. And the only reason the things that he thinks affect him, just like literally don't even exist in the real world, So it's just like old man yelling at cloud. Anyways, so that's the hippy dippy thing. I think he's actually deranged. No, he's brain poisoned. Like, if you just like sit in one media sphere forever and you never see what other people say, unless it's the absolute craziest of what the other side has to say, then you're just like lost forever. You can see, like, I used to draw the comparison when it came to what do you call them? The alt-right people. Like, if all you ever consume is doom and gloom about like the browning of America and how like you know, people like paint these nice little pictures of like how the Jews are controlling everything at a certain point, like even if you're like even if you started out as a good person, you can be convinced of some pretty crazy things. When it comes to drone tech, I'm pretty sure that he's just like so obstinate in his positions that he'll never ever change his positions, even when people on his own side are saying that it's insane. Are Jews white? I don't care. Do you know how many times people have asked me that question? And I just like realized that the only answer that like matters is I don't care. Which conservatives aren't devoid from reality? Well, like people like Doghouse, like I used to think Jebtan, but I think that he's like gone off the handle a little bit recently. I thought he was a California Republican. Listen, I don't know if I can do it. We tried yesterday to watch the Jimmy Dore thing on the whatever her name is, the Algerian boxer. I can't watch him, dude. They're just not funny. Number one, they're not funny. They don't have anything like interesting to say. I don't know, Admiral Gibbs. You still believe in like building the wall, okay? You're like one step away from being one of them. I was gonna bait you with an anti-climate change video. I would rather that than anything Jimmy Dore. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Jimmy Dore is just he's not a serious person. He has no right like trying to give people news. Hey, did the DNC have walls this year? It's in a stadium? I would assume that like it's not an open air stadium. It has security and walls though, right? Okay, yeah. And the point, I'm sorry. Every single time someone brings up walls are a barrier that keep people out. Look, the liberals had fences outside of their thing. It like literally brain breaks me. It brain breaks me. Not because it's an unbeatable point. It's just so insipidly stupid. And you guys know it's stupid, which is why you bring it up. It's not a serious point. Comparing, like in our debate that we had, comparing the borders of the United States with your like backyard fence it just doesn't track. Why not live in a wall-less house? Well, that would mean that all of the illegals would be able to get in and see, and I don't want that. Oh shit! I just showed my entire face. My entire mask just slipped. Oh shit! You're right. One of them has the infinite money glitch with drone and satellite tech, and one of them is me. Wait, so when you were arguing against my point that it would be an incredibly huge money sink that wouldn't be worth the amount of money that we're sinking into it, when you argued against that, you were just lying. Now you're just saying, oh, they have the infinite money glitch. Okay, good to know. You distinctly did. No, because I don't think that he was arguing for the wall. Yeah, it's infrastructure, it's public works. Everything except for what it actually is. You'll call it everything but what it actually is. The only reason that you guys still want the wall is because it's a symbol of what you guys couldn't accomplish. Even when you had the entire House, even when you had the entire Senate, when you had the presidency, it's just a symbol that you guys need to win to like continue, like, so you don't have to deal with the like mental incongruity between like reality and non-reality that you live in, right? And you can add more meme things on top of it, but all of it is just a cope. We need the wall because otherwise that means that we were wrong. If we like have some sort of actual plan to deal with the issues at our border, if we actually fix the issues with immigration, then we can't blame, those dirty Mexicans anymore. If we don't, continue to, like push this thing. 1 second. Okay. All right. I feel like the ADD medicine's kicking in. I think that we can actually start the content. Are you guys ready for actual content now, or because we got the greatest politician of our lifetime, Hillary Clinton, speaking at the DNC. React to this. Damn, we got the same thing here. Yeah, I know. Candace Owens decided to go full mask off, like total anti-Semitic, total like Jew hater. Let's see.
Many moons ago, before they decided to establish Israel as a country, I know you've read like the short.
Listen, I think it's a grift. No, the sad thing is, I don't even think it's a grift because she's done little hints like this for like the past couple of years, right? Little bitty hints of anti-Semitism over the past couple of years. And I think that she actually is convinced about this, Like she was like defending Kanye, saying like nice things about Hitler. She was saying like, oh, so we can't even question these people. I don't know if it was the Kanye thing that broke her, right? I don't know if that's what it was, but like I do think that this is what her actual beliefs are, which is not good.
Many moons ago, before they decided to establish Israel as a country, I know you've read like the
I just want to know. I just asking questions.
short version in the classroom, and it was like, oh, the whole.
Like, why are they just so hated? The reason that, number one, because there's already a built-up like infrastructure of narratives around Jewish people that has been going on for centuries. So it's really easy to just like fall into blaming them for all of your problems. There's just so much already built out there that if you're not very smart, and you see things are not very good in your opinion in your country, and you can you can't really find a rational reason to like explain what's going on that doesn't involve like things that you support, right? Well, then obviously it's got to be someone else's fault. And then just like the timing of everything right now makes it to where, a couple people point out the Jews. You start listening to them. Okay, I guess this does make sense. It's not my fault. It's not my side's fault that everything is bad, right? It's the other side's fault because they're all bought out by the Jews. And yeah, that's why it is. That's my read on it. It's like actually a movement. I know some other African Americans have brought up long before Kanye and her. Yeah, no, I mean like there's like the whole Nation of Islam group and the Black Israelites and shit like that that are deeply, deeply, deeply anti-Semitic. Like I'm not saying that like white people are the only people that can be anti-Semitic, okay? I'm like, wait, y'all think Hitler was y'all's boy? I don't think he was too happy when that one guy beat the other guy at the Olympics.
Holocaust happened, and then we realized that Israel needs a state. No, that's not how it went down. That's not how it went down at the F all, okay? Catholics and Christians were going missing on Passover, and then they would find bodies, okay, across Europe, and they were able to trace them back to Jews. Blood libel. There weren't Jews, okay? These were Frankists. And so just like Leo Frank killed Mary Fagin on Passover back in 1913 or 1914, I can't remember the exact date, he did it during Passover for a reason. This Frankist cult, which is masquerading behind Jews, still participates in this shit to this day, okay? Why would you want, as a small nation that is the size of New Jersey, okay, why would you want the pedophiles to flee there? Like, why would you want the pedophiles to be procreating? Unless unless the nation of Israel may have been established by some Frankists. And it's looking like Theodore Herzl's family was from the exact same area in Moravia and in Bohemia where the Frankist cult was founded. Crazy, crazy when you get into his family. That, like, maybe Theodore Herzl, who wrote in a book that he didn't care how many Jews had to die for him to get the state of Israel, like, maybe he was.
I wish more people like subscribe. Marco, are we back? Jesus, I have no idea what the deal is with OBS recently. Okay, I thought it froze again. Jesus Christ. Read the first paragraph. Is a Sabbatean religious movement of the 18th and 19th centuries created in Podolia, named after its founder, Jacob Frank. Frank completely rejected Jewish norms, preaching to his followers that they were obligated to transgress moral boundaries. At its height, Frankism claimed perhaps 50,000 followers, primarily Jews living in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, as well as in Central and Eastern Europe. So rejected Jewish norms. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Let's watch the DNC thing, okay? I'm going to play Pokemon while we do it.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
You know what? It is really surprising to me still that she has so much sway in the Democratic Party. Oh, wait, you know what? I just realized chat's not on screen. Why is that? Hello? Okay, hopefully that fixed it. Okay, well, I guess if it's... Okay, there it goes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
How has this woman not aged in 8 years? It's the adrenochrome.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
It should have been her, guys. It should have been her. Can you imagine, as much as conservatives hate her, as much as conservatives, you know, just like despise the out of Hillary Clinton, can you imagine how much better of a world we might be living in right now if she won over Trump? I hated her. I'm not sure if I still hate her because I don't know a lot about her. But can you imagine how much better of a world we would live in right now if we never had Trump as a president? But have you considered Benghazi?
Thank you, my fellow Democrats. Thank you, my fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans.
Thank you so much. You know, thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Kamala. Jesus, what is wrong with you? But if she won, we would have a lot less memes. Isn't that what really matters? That's true. That's true. Like if she didn't win, my favorite meme of all time wouldn't have happened.
Smoking on Bhutanese Shadow Garden grown dark evil pack. They watered this with the blood of 36 dragons. Shit so purple it should be asking me, where's Ronald?
I don't know if you can watch a video that says the N-word on Twitch, so I'm not going to continue on that. I'm smoking on Bhutanese Shadow Garden grown dark evil pack. This shit was watered by the blood of 1,000 dragons. Shit's so purple, it should be calling me Ronald's. This shit will turn your pacemaker off.
Wow. There's a lot of energy in this room, just like there is across.
Okay, we need to watch the video.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls. Something is happening in America. You can feel it. Something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. First, though, let's salute President Biden.
Where are you at?
He has been democracy's champion at home and abroad. He brought dignity, decency, and confidence back to the White House. And he showed what it means to be a true patriot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for your lifetime of service and leadership. And now we are writing a new...
Jill was our first female president? No, if anything, you'd have to say Nancy Reagan was, because Ronald Reagan, by the end of his presidency, was like barely alive, like mentally. Like he was worse off than Joe. Because he had like, didn't he have actual Alzheimer's, like diagnosed? And I'm pretty sure Nancy Reagan was like giving him advice on what to do by like reading astrological signs and shit. I'm like 90% sure.
New chapter in America.
Hold on. I don't want to spread misinformation. Nancy Reagan. Astrologer. Damn. In 1989, Nancy Reagan published her own memoir, My Turn, in which she addressed Don Reagan's allegations about her dependence on astrology. Our first female president was a crystal mommy.
Story. You know, my mother Dorothy was born right here in Chicago before women had the right to vote. That changed 104 years ago yesterday.
Probably, Omar.
Think about it. Tennessee became the final state to ratify the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The state legislature was deadlocked until one lawmaker's mother, a widow who read 3 newspapers a day, sent a letter to her son. No more delays, she wrote. Give us the vote. And since that day, every generation has carried the torch forward. In 1972, a fearless black congresswoman named Shirley Chisholm, she ran for president. And her determination let me and millions of others dream bigger, not just because of who she was, but because of who she fought for. Working parents, poor children, the last, the least, and the lost. In 1984, I brought my daughter to see Geraldine Ferraro, the first woman nominated for vice president. If we can do this, Jerry said, we can do anything. And then there was 2016, when it was the honor of my life to accept our party's nomination for president. And nearly 66 million Americans voted for a future where there are no ceilings on our dreams. And afterwards, we refused to give up on America. Millions marched, many ran for office. We kept our eyes on the future. Well, my friends, the future is here. I wish my mother and Kamala's mother could see us. They would say, keep going. Shirley and Jerry would say, keep going. Women
You know, there was an interesting post. I wonder if I even saved it, because I don't know if I did. Let me see if I did. But it was let me see here. It was showing the difference between the first day of the RNC and the first day of the DNC. I don't know if I even liked the post. Ah, damn it, I didn't. But like all of the DNC signs say USA, and everyone's, yay, USA, USA. And then all of the RNC ones are mass deportation now. On one side it says Trump Vance, and on the other side it said mass deportation now. Jesus Christ. It's like they have no idea what optics are. It's like they have no clue what people want out of the parties right now.
Women fighting for reproductive health care are saying, keep going. Families building better lives, parents stretching to afford child care, young people struggling to pay their rent. They're all asking us to keep going. So, with faith in each other and joy in our hearts, let's send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House.
Wahoo! Oops.
The story of my life and the history of our country is that progress is possible but not guaranteed. We have to fight for it and never, ever give up. There is always a choice. Do we push forward or pull back? Come together as we the people, or split into us versus them? That's the choice we face in this election. Kamala has the character, experience, and vision to lead us forward. I know her heart and her integrity. We both got our start as young lawyers, helping children who were abused and neglected. That kind of work changes a person. Those kids stay with you. Kamala carries with her the hopes of every child she protected, every family she helped, every community she served. So as president, she will always have our backs.
Yeah, look at this shit, dude. On the left, the signs that you find at the DNC. On the right, the signs that you find at the RNC. No more needs to be said. Jesus Christ. You can hate on Hillary all you want, Omar, but like it's not, she's not a politician anymore. She's just like around, unfortunately.
And she will be a fighter for us. She will fight to lower costs for hardworking families, open the doors wide for good-paying jobs, and yes, she will restore abortion rights nationwide.
What do you mean if you don't smoke weed? Didn't Kamala have like one of the lowest conviction rates of just like simple possession in the entirety of like California DA history? I'm pretty sure we looked this up like within the past like 2 weeks. You know how many people that are still in jail today? Not for simple possession. You realize that there's a difference between like, so like it wasn't like if you had weed you would be put in jail. It was like if you were mass distributing weed, you were a dealer, that would get you like sent to jail. And if you had done some other crime and then it was like a bad enough crime that they felt like, oh, well, we should lock this guy up for a long time, then they would pursue like drug charges on them, right? Kind of like if you ever watch like Law and Order SVU, they're like, oh, well, you were also doing this at the same time, so we're going to charge you with that too, because this needs to go to jail for like 30 years. But I'm pretty sure when we looked this up live on stream, she had one of the lowest conviction rates or charge. I don't understand what the deal is. What the Okay. Sounds anti-weed to me. Hasn't the Biden-Harris administration, haven't they like been working towards decriminalizing weed at the federal level? Like in the past couple of weeks? They finally started getting across, like getting out the, 1 second. I don't know how to spell marijuana. Oh my God, I spelled it correctly. Reclassify marijuana, calls for more reform. Yeah, they moved it from a Schedule 1 substance to a Schedule 3 substance. Stuff like Tylenol and codeine. Chai, I don't know how to fucking tell you. Listen, if you're like a single issue voter based off of weed, of all things, number one, why the would you ever support anyone other than a Democrat? Unless you're like a libertarian, I guess. You could, they're fine with it. Yeah, but the solid, the raw number doesn't tell me anything. I need to know like the person before and the person after. Well, after her, she would like they've legalized it, so I guess they wouldn't have those after her. I'm independent. I can't vote anyways. Huh. How the crypto world learned to love Donald Trump, JD Vance, and Project 2025. Jesus. Okay, please let me finish this Hillary Clinton thing so we can move on to something more entertaining.
As a prosecutor, Kamala locked up murderers and drug traffickers. She will never rest in defense of our freedom and safety. Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial, and when he woke up, he made his own kind of history, the first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
Damn.
As vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room.
Yep. That's so cringe, Chai.
But we also know as vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room and stood for America's values. I know what it takes, and I can tell you, as Commander-in-Chief, Kamala won't disrespect our military and our veterans.
Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell already legalized most of the weed. I have the dispensaries in California by reclassifying it as hemp. Look up the THCA loophole. You can buy real weed in the gas station or smoke shop near you in Texas, thanks to Trump. I'm pretty sure that most of these are going to be state level things, but I don't. Listen. Weed isn't my like biggest my biggest political like issue. I just don't. It's just not something that I cared that much about, except for people being like prosecuted super heavily for like marijuana on the federal level. If they didn't reclassify it to like bring down charges on anyone, that's not what I care about. You realize that. It's not my personal ability to go out and smoke weed that makes me want to vote for someone or not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chai is trolling at this point.
She reveres our medal.
Under Schedule 3? I don't want to get deep into the weed thing. The weed thing isn't something I care about. And if Trump legalized weed federally, why was it still a Schedule I drug when he left office? Answer me that.
Of honor recipients. She won't be sending love letters to dictators. She will defend democracy and our Constitution and will protect America from enemies, foreign and domestic. Think about it. The Constitution says the president's job is to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Those are the words of our founders. Take care.
Well, if isn't I like drug stuff is not my like biggest thing. No, it seems like the executive branch does have the direct ability to change or add or remove different substances from the schedules. Yeah, so it would be the executive branch. Listen, I'll shit on someone for being a one issue or single issue voter based off of, you know, hey, can you move? Please? Thank you. Jesus Christ. I'll make fun of someone for being a single issue voter off of abortion. If you don't think that I'll make fun of someone for being a single issue voter based off of weed, you're super wrong. It's just like there's 5 billion things to be upsetty spaghetti about. Oh, you know what I should do? I'm pretty sure my Pokemon still have the Pokerus. Right? Let me just, before I put that guy in the box, I should get him infected with it, and then I can... Oh, I'm about to obliterate this dumb little... Oh, my God. All right.
Just look at the candidates. Kamala cares about kids and families, cares about America. Donald only cares about himself. On her first day in court, Kamala said 5 words that still guide her. Kamala Harris, for the people. That is something that Donald Trump will never understand. So it is no surprise, is it, that he is lying about Kamala's record. He's mocking her name and her laugh. Sounds familiar. But we have him on the run now. So, no matter what the polls say, we can't let up. We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. We have to fight for the truth. We have to fight for Kamala as she will fight for us. Because you know what? It still takes a village to raise a family, heal a country, and win a campaign. And America needs every one of us, our energy, our talents, our dreams. We're not just electing a president, we're uplifting our nation. We're opening the promise of America wide enough for everyone. Together, we've put a lot of cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling.
Uh-oh.
And tonight,
talk about the glass ceiling, y'all.
So close to breaking through once and for all. I want to tell you what I see through all those cracks and why it matters for each and every one of us. What do I see? I see freedom. I see the freedom to make our own decisions about our health, our lives, our loves, our family, the freedom to work with dignity and prosper, to worship as we choose or not, to speak our minds freely and honestly. I see freedom from fear and intimidation, from violence and injustice, from chaos and corruption. I see the freedom to look our children in the eye and say, in America, you can go as far as your hard work and talent will take you, and mean it. And you know what? On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States.
I agree. It's not about the Dems or Republicans being better or worse. They're both pretty awful, but Sondsol wanted to claim that the Dems are universally better on weed legalization when the facts show that Trump has passed law that got interstate commerce access in all state. Wouldn't, if you're saying that scheduling it as a Schedule 3 instead of a Schedule 1 drug would only benefit corporations, how the f is separating hemp and the THC part, like the weed part, how is separating those not helping big business into like being able to produce more like hemp derived products? How is that not helping businesses? I'm sorry, like I don't care. Like, you guys are, God, I hate stoners. I'm like 80% of the way to being a stoner, and I hate stoners so much.
Because, my friends, when a barrier falls for one of us, it falls. It falls and clears the way for all of us. So for the next 78 days, we need to work harder than we ever have. We need to beat back the dangers that Trump and his allies pose to the rule of law and our way of life. Don't get distracted or complacent. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Volunteer. Be proud champions for the truth and for the country that we all love. I want my grandchildren and their grandchildren to know I was here at this moment, that we were here, and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. This is when we stand up. This is when we break through. The future is here. It's in our grasp. Let's go win it.
Let's go. Oh, she's getting played off to Taylor Swift. Girl boss energy, dude. Girl boss energy. Okay. There we go. We got through the Hillary Clinton thing, okay? We got through it. Wow, you're talking about a lot of stuff that I just do not give a f about woke CIA drone pilot. That's someone else's fight. You can pick up that fight. You can be the THC wizard that goes and fights on the front lines for free weed for all. Okay, but like, it's just not something I care as much about. Why? Oh, gross. Okay. Why? Come get your conservative seed. Jesus Christ.
But I hope you know
I want to see the Joe Biden one.
how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this in the bottom, give you my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it.
I thought the speech tonight was totally from his heart.
It was electric.
It was the swan song, right? Like, it was his goodbye.
It was hard not to shed tears during the course of the speech.
To hear him speak about our future and everything on the line, I felt really hopeful.
He did so well, and we're so grateful for him being the president that he was. He helped heal this country, and his legacy will be tremendous.
I have some differences with him on his policy, especially regarding Gaza, but I gotta respect him. He has had an incredible life.
I knew that after the debate, and I know that he didn't do as well as what we had hoped, and he didn't either, that he would do what's right for the country. But I thought his speech was very uplifting. It was like passing the torch to Kamala and to Tim.
And as someone who is a Jewish refugee from Ukraine, whose family is still fighting on the front lines of democracy, I know that I and they owe a debt of gratitude and probably their life to President Biden's leadership and service.
Any opinions on the Hippy Dippy debate on is democracy on the ballot a couple of days ago? Yeah, it black-pilled me on talking to conservatives, especially conservatives like that are like hell-bent on maintaining their audience. Why aren't you fighting, dude? People can... I don't care. It black-pilled me because I feel like they're more interested in defending the coup attempts than they are about like arguing the merits of their own side. Okay. It black-pilled me because every single debate that I've seen Destiny have on January 6th with any like content creator has been them like trying to hyperfixate on one single word and bog down the entire debate on that, or like try and win like through some weird technicalities that don't exist. Yeah, they're ideologues, but it's so depressing because again, there are interesting... This is why I don't hate all conservatives. This is why I don't hate all Republicans, right? Because there's like a possibility of having a good, reasonable discussion about any given topic, right? There are reasonable discussions that you can have around like the trans, like trans issues. There are reasonable discussions to have around that. Unfortunately, Republicans are too concerned with them all being pedophiles and like are completely ignoring any possible like interesting conversation that could be taken out of it. Like they'll couch it in... We refer to those conservatives as Bill. Do you see AJW Cope video? No. Or it didn't succeed, so, or we recognize that it was there was an insurrection, but like you can't prove that there won't be another insurrection, I guess. Or like I think that the guardrails held up well there, so if he's in office again, that they'll hold up again. It's like, why would you ever give someone who you recognize just like pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed on every single like democratic institution, democratic norm that we had, to try and subvert every single one of those? Why would you choose to put that person back in charge of the country? DNC affiliated super PAC Progressive Victory does work with a known pedophile known as Ian Voshkachinsky. Well, I don't know who you're talking to right now. Who are you talking to? One sec. I'm about to go bust some caffeine into my blood system because I'm like sleepy. I don't know why. I have like no energy right this second. Nair, you missed it, but Admiral Gibbs was literally in chat making that argument. He was in chat making that argument. I'm referencing your claims that Republicans are worried about Dems being pedos. Hold on, I didn't say Dems being pedos. I said trans people being pedos, number one. Number two, I don't think that the DNC is like... I don't like you say DNC affiliated. It's a progressive lobbying group. That doesn't mean that they're affiliated with the DNC in any way, shape, or form. If there is something that shows like the DNC directly like contracts Progressive Victory, then I'll say, yeah, that might be something. But like, I'm not like a big defender of Progressive Victory. I'm not a big like detractor of it either, just because like it's just not something I cared that much about. And it seems like the majority of the progressive victory stuff is like kind of dying down because of people like Vosh and people like Destiny dropping out of it because of people like Vosh. Oh, okay, I see. So like through 4 layers of separation from Vosh, therefore Dims are pedos. I got you. Here are a list of Republican sexual predators. Oh, holy shit. Part 31? Bro, that's so rough. Part 31? Oh, wait, this is part 32. 783? Holy shit. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get myself some caffeine real quick because your boy's like falling asleep. You guys can listen to let's see here. Give me like 30 seconds.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and Hennessy. I've been to the motherfucking mountaintop. Heard talk, seen them drop. If I ain't got a weapon, I'ma pick up a rock. And when I bust your ass, I'm gonna continue to rock. Get your ass on the wall with your 2 left feet. It's real easy, just follow the beat. Don't let that fine girl pass you by. Look real close, cause strobe lights about to have a party. Let's get it started. Shake it. I'm looking for a girl with a body and a sexy strut. Wanna get it poppin', baby, step right up. Some girls, they act retarded. Some girls are body. I'm looking for a girl that will do whatever the I say every day. She be giving it up. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Oh, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. I'm a menace, a dentist, an oral hygienist. Open your mouth for about 4 or 5 minutes. Take a little bit of this fluoride riddance. Swish, but don't spit it. Swallow it now, finish. Yeah, me and Nate, D-O-double-G, looking for a couple with some double D's. Pop a little champagne and a couple D's. Slip it in the bubbly. We friends time to have a party. Turn the music, let's get it started. Go and shake it. I'm looking for a girl I can fuck in my Hummer truck. Apple bottom jeans and a big old slut. Girls, they got some girls are body. I want a bitch that sit at the crib with no panties on. Knows that she can, but she won't say no. Look at this lady in front of me. Sexy as can be. Tonight I want a slut. Would you be mine? Heard you was freaky from a friend of mine. Now I hope you don't get mad at me, but I told Nate you was a freak. He said he wants a slut. Hope you don't mind. I told him how you like it from behind. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Oh, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl, shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. We about to have a party. Let's get it started. Shake it. I'm looking for a girl with a body and a sexy strut.
Alrighty. Jesus Christ, I can't believe this shit. The one that always blew my mind was Roy Moore. How much they like tried to make that happen. God, that was a dog shit song. Cope and Seethe Sieg. Oh my God. Someone doesn't have an ounce of joy in their heart. Someone doesn't have an ounce of joy in their heart. I can't believe it. Holy shit. All right, let's see here. Florida's absolutely in play for the presidential race. I'm sorry. That's Democrat Cope. That's Democrat Cope, okay? Presidential polls. State. Florida. I don't know, fam. I don't know, fam. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Listen, fam. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's Democrat Cope. Watch the Twitter video. Oh, yeah, that's right. Is it this one?
Are you smarter than a
1 second.
politician?
YouTube.
Are you smarter than a politician?
Anybody?
The answer is yes, if you were among the millions of students who, thanks to the charity run by this high school teacher, get to watch my videos in class.
Should only take you a couple of minutes. Great or good?
Actually, not all.
It bothers me so much. Let me tell you something. As someone that's worked in education and someone that like very possibly may still go into education, it bugs the out of me that people will use obvious ideological videos and stuff like that in their classroom. I don't care if you're a lib or a conservative. That like seriously bugs the out of me. Okay, let's see. How am I supposed to swap these guys out? Is it like this? I get the feeling. 1 second. Let me see if I can finish this puzzle really quick. There we go. No, I used the... Okay, I got it. I used the border, okay? I got it. So you're against the PragerU for Kids content? What a woke lib, you hate America? Yep, that's me. It's just like, I don't like the idea, okay? I don't like the idea of trying to impose your beliefs. And Republicans talk about this all the time as happening in schools, right? I don't like using like ideological messaging in classrooms. And I think that goes for both liberals and conservatives. I don't like it when liberals are trying to push, like obvious, like woke stuff. Like if there's an instance of a teacher doing like obvious ideological priming for kids, that's one thing, right? Like working in a school, in every school that I've worked in, right, which has been quite a few at this point, every time I saw them in the liberal bastion of Houston, Texas, okay, you might not think it's the liberal bastion, but I don't think that Houston has voted for a Republican in a very long time. The majority of everything that I saw, if not the totality of what I saw regarding anything woke or anything like that. Also, Tron, hi, how's it going? Why that kid has two dads, I just say no opinion. Well, like, you don't even have to say that. Like, I guess they have two dads. That's crazy, right? Like, what I was saying in schools was, like, you should treat everyone with respect. If someone is, you shouldn't, treat someone differently because they look different than you think that they're supposed to, or if they have a different race than you think that they're supposed to, or whatever, right? Like, that's something that, like, I think is totally fine, right? I think that's totally fine. What I don't like is when people are saying you should talk about this or you shouldn't talk about this in class. I think that when it comes to that sort of thing, when it comes to any kind of like especially huge social issue, schools should probably be in the business of like telling everyone to treat everyone with respect, to not discriminate against people, that everyone are just like people, right? They're just like different classes of people. That doesn't mean that they're all either exactly the same or, that they're like a separate, entity outside of society, like, just like do what I've seen happen at schools, which is, hey, you shouldn't be shitty to that kid. If that kid is happens to be trans, so what? That doesn't give you the right to be shitty to them. XYZ, whatever it is. It bothers me. It bothers me so much. And then they want to talk about Democrats indoctrinating kids when they're literally trying to draft legislation to like enforce what you can and can't talk about in schools. Yeah, sorry, Tron. I'm trying to cut it down. Okay, I promise. I just don't know how, because like I can't like turn myself into like a PG streamer. That's just not something that the only time I've ever been able to like control myself for the only time I've ever been able to control my language is around my grandfather, all right, who I don't think to this day has ever heard me curse except for one time, all right? And the only time I've ever cursed in front of my like extremely conservative, like 85-year-old grandfather was when my when my younger brother was driving us for the first time, and both me and my grandfather were in the back seat, and he took a really sharp turn and pressed us up against each other. I thought we were going to die, so I said, I looked at him, cold sweat beating up on my forehead. I was like, and he just looked at me like, I understand. He just gave me the I understand look. I never did it again. It is very hard for me to like clean up my language unless I'm in front of children or in front of my grandfather, My grandpa used slurs a lot. He sent my uncle to military school because he had a black friend. Jesus. See, one side of my family is where I get my filthy mouth from. Right, that would be my dad's side, and that was like they cursed a whole bunch. They were pretty irreverent, all of that stuff. Very funny people. And very loud people. And then you go on to my mom's side, and they're this like the most quiet, stoic. It's like the two different sides of what like Southerners are. You either got like the quiet, stoic, backwoods dude that knows a lot about knows a lot about like going hunting, going fishing, knows he's an Eagle Scout, stuff like that. And then on the other side, it's just a bunch of loudmouth hillbillies who are screaming at each other. Have a debate judge be an AI? I have no idea what you even mean by that. Okay, we're going to watch this video.
Are you smarter than a politician?
Anybody?
The answer is yes, if you were among the millions of students who, thanks to the charity run by this high school teacher, get to watch my videos in class.
Should only take you a couple of minutes. Great or good?
Actually, not all the videos are mine, but the charity's called Sondsol in the Classroom because I offer free.
My grandma called me gay boy when I was younger, and my grandpa was involved with a bullshit lawsuit to try and sue China for $20 trillion. My grandfather on my dad's side, and I think it was fifth grade, right? We had a fifth grade play of A Midsummer's Night Dream, and I was the I can't remember any of the characters' names, but the girl character, the main girl character, her father, right? Which was based because I got to hit a woman. Listen, I got to hit a woman on stage. Quiet, wench. You are going to marry the person I want you to marry. All right? You're my property. But I had to wear eyeliner because that's what you have to do on stage. If you don't wear eyeliner, if you don't wear stage makeup, you become like super washed out, and people can't tell where your eyes are as easily because they're not as easily defined, so that's why, eyeliner is like a big thing for stage makeup. I had to wear eyeliner in fifth grade, and my grandfather was staying with us, and I walk out in my costume with my makeup on, and I didn't realize it at the time because the play is about, the fairy king and the fairy queen of the forest, right? I walk out and Peppa calls me, oh, look, it's a little fairy boy. And I was like, actually, I'm not one of the fairies. I'm not one of the fairies. I'm whatever her name is, dad. I'm actually just a person. And my parents were pissed. My parents were pissed. They were just glad that I didn't understand the gay hate that was going on. All right. Anyways, we're going to start this over. We're going to watch this video, okay? No, this segment's not going to take a while because J-Mac just entered chat, so that gives me the signal that I'm not going to pay attention to chat at all. All right?
Are you smarter than a politician?
Anybody?
The answer is yes, if you are among the millions of students who, thanks to the charity run by this high school teacher, get to watch my videos in class.
Should only take you a couple of minutes. Greeter, good.
Actually, not all the videos are mine, but the charity's called Sondsol in the Classroom because I offer free videos to any teacher who wants video teaching aids for courses in economics, government, critical thinking, and current events. Watching and discussing the videos gives kids new perspective on things.
But the people that accept welfare, over time, they lose the incentive to work.
Every year we hold an essay contest. Winners get money plus a free trip for them and their teacher to visit us here in New York City. This year's contest invited students to write about price gouging, a practice hated by the media.
This guy kind of reminds me of, what are their names? Tim and Eric. I can't remember which, it's one of their most popular characters that they have. Let me see if I can just scroll down. Yeah, here we are. Now tell me that this fella right here
from Lazy Horse
doesn't remind you of this fella right here. All right? You can't tell me that these two guys are not the same person. This is just him 20 years ago. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
mattress and bedding supply. Woo! And I guarantee you'll hit the hay the second that your head hits the mattress.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy.
Students to write about price gouging, a practice hated by the media and most politicians.
Jeff Sessions and the President of the United States will not tolerate gouging.
Gouging becomes an issue every hurricane season because after storms, some merchants raise prices.
They're taking advantage of us.
That leads politicians to pass laws that say,
during a state of emergency, you cannot substantially raise prices, whether it's a hotel room, fuel, commodities such as water, generators. You cannot raise prices substantially, and that's what these bad people are doing.
Fortunately, our students get to hear a Nobel Prize-winning economist give the other side of the argument.
The gougers deserve a medal.
The gougers are heroes, said Milton Friedman, because they take risks to bring in goods that people desperately need. After Hurricane Katrina, one so-called gouger was John.
Does anybody, like, seriously argue that price gouging is good in the aftermath of a... I mean, I guess Milton Friedman does. I can't believe that there's going to be someone that's going to defend that, because the idea that would be okay, with someone price gouging is insane. There's an emergency. People like have a real possibility of dying, and we're going to just allow them to do that? It seems a little wacky to me.
On Shepperson, watching news reports about Katrina, he learned that people desperately needed things.
My wife just got out of the hospital, and she's very sick, and we need a generator.
So John bought 19 generators, put them in a rented U-Haul, and drove it 600 miles to part of Mississippi which had no electricity.
5 million people in this region are without power.
John offered to sell his generators for twice what he paid for them. People were eager to buy.
People were excited. We had a product they needed.
But Mississippi police wouldn't let John sell them. They called that price gouging. Instead, they confiscated his generators and locked John up in this jail. So did the public benefit? No.
What do we need? Come on, guys. Generators. Food.
Somebody needs to bring these products to people when there are disasters and emergencies. And this is going to be one person that's not going to be there that they've took out of the equation.
Students who entered our video essay contest expanded on that point.
In modern day, you see countries like Venezuela suffer from the fact that their governments continue to place price controls on all items.
17-year-old Annalise Scafad of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Price controls are bad. But price controls and price gouging legislation are going to be different. Yeah? One is a temporary measure given a specific instance that happens, and the other is just try to do a planned economy.
Submitted this video and won our high school award.
34 of the 50 U.S. states have laws against price gouging.
As I did more and more research, I was like, okay, maybe price gouging isn't such a bad thing.
Erica Lewis of Towson University won the college level category.
Sellers are able to earn more profit, and buyers are capable of getting the supplies they desperately need.
Actually, the price gougers are the moral ones.
17-year-old Maggie Hrancic of Grove City, Pennsylvania, won her high school essay contest.
If you just look at the economics, the most people are helped if you keep the government out of it.
When people hear price gouging, they think, oh, gouging, this awful thing that you'd think of, but it really is kind of just another name for supply and demand.
Wisdom from students helped to look at all sides of the issue by teachers who use our videos. Next year's essay contest will be announced soon. Check out sitc.org for the latest information.
God, this feels like a parody, does it not? Those kids are easy to manipulate? Yeah, because they're children. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. You can make the the argument that the free market will take care of things. And in some instances, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like most people don't want to live in a world where they can just be taken advantage of the second that there's a major natural disaster. What were you saying about keeping YouTube pundits out of the classroom? Yeah, if you're doing stuff like that, I just don't think that there should be ideological pushes in schools. It seems so insane to me. You're attempting to take a symbolic document like the DNC Convention. Oh, you guys are arguing about genocide still? Why are you guys still arguing about genocide? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand Twitch chat. I don't understand any chat, really. You guys get stun locked easier than I can. How's it going, Wiener King? Love the name. Doing pretty good. Just waiting for the caffeine to fully take effect. Just kind of vibing. I just like arguing. I mean, I like arguing too. Listen, I love arguing, but why are you guys even arguing about this? Where did this even come from? She's going after grocery price gouging in an industry where the profit margin is less than 1.5. Yeah, I need to look into those things. Here's the
greetings and salutations.
One second. Open on the. Wait, where's the window that I have open for stream? Close this out. What are we arguing about? I guess
greetings and salutations.
I guess they're arguing about genocide for some reason. Lefties were mad about Israel. Cool. Man, let me tell you guys something. People at the end of the day, chat is being weird right now. Chat is usually a little bit weird, but this is a bit much. Okay. We love chat being a little bit weird. It makes me rage and it makes for good stream content. But I don't know. The Israel-Palestine arguments, just at the end of the day, no one has changed my opinion on things in any substantial way. Because when it comes to like Israel, it feels like, yeah, I can agree that there's like some shit going on there that I don't like. I don't like the fact that, there's so much death going on over there. On the other side of things, I also can't trust the numbers that come out of the Palestinian, or I'm sorry, the Gaza Health Ministry. Why? Because they lie, and they provably lied. They had to adjust the numbers down by like 15, 20, 30% or some shit like that. And then like all of the numbers that they had to take away from the total death count were all women and children. Very conveniently, they lied on like 50% of their death count being women and children. But like, just like, why is it always an argument over whether there is or isn't a genocide going on? Why is there never like a conversation about what is practical, what is something that could come out of this, So I'm not going to talk about this. Listen, I want to play Pokemon, okay? And I guess we're going to laugh at AJW. And if you don't know much about politics, you're either in a great place or a horrible place. I'm a political science student, so I get deep into politics almost every single stream, but we do it in a respectful way. Unless you're J-Mac, in which case I'll tear you another asshole, because holy shit, the brainworms are strong with him. But I don't know, man. Pennsylvania is an all right place, I guess. I just moved over to the East Coast like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I really want to visit Pennsylvania. I think like everybody has like in their mind some places that are just like romanticized for one reason or another, and I don't know why, but for some reason Philadelphia, despite everything that people tell me about Philadelphia, it's just one of those places that I like really want to see Philadelphia, right? I want to go to Philadelphia, and now that I live on the East Coast, I can, And Washington, D.C. and New York, places in my mind that I'd romanticized. Now I get to live in D.C. This place is really cool, right? I get to see it every day. And when it comes, I do want to see the Liberty Bell, all right? I want to see everything. I love the historical stuff to go see. But like in D.C., I get to like look out and see the monuments every single day when I like drive around. I say every single day. I don't drive around every day. Still unemployed. But hey, if you guys want to donate to my PayPal, there you go. Help a brother out. I literally have like $1.75 still in my account. So if you guys want to help a brother out, there's a donation link right there. So I'm scared to make you hate anti-American people even more, but you've got to go to Arlington. What's happening in Arlington? Dad's going to DC soon? Yeah, no, it's a beautiful city. I think like the temperature outside, the high is like, oh, I must have closed out my weather app, but I think the high today is 77. You do not get that, dude. You do not get that in Texas. Not in the summer. You don't get 77 until the winter, okay? Like a nice cool winter day is like 60 degrees in Texas. So it's 96 right now, dude. No, I do not. That's probably the biggest reason I won't miss Texas. Sondsol, do you tape phone books around your abdomen so hobos can't shank you? I haven't like run into any hobos that like scare me, but I will say this. I've been trying to be a little bit healthy. I've lost about 12 pounds since I moved to DC, which is great. But like I've started going on runs in the morning, and just people just like walking around, dude, they eye me with such suspicion. I don't know if that's an East Coast thing. I don't know if that's the way I look thing. But like in Houston, I never got weird looks going on runs, literally ever. But here, every single person that I pass by looks at me like, as I walk by or as I like jog by, and I just don't. I don't know what the deal is. Do I look particularly sketchy? I look like, okay, I guess I'm just a sketchy looking guy, I guess I can't go anywhere without, no, it's fine, dude. We shit talk here all the time. I'm sorry, Tron, I just saw your comment in the YouTube chat. I bet we could get an interesting breakdowns with the AI debate judge. Interesting breakdowns, how many emotional appeals, how many objectively incorrect statements, how many gish gallops are ad hominem. But I don't know if I would trust the AI to make that determination, not gonna lie. I view everyone as trying something, so I can't answer. All right, let's see what AJW's cope is. Listen, here's my thing on AJW, and I've pinpointed it. I don't think that you can ever trust anything that he says. I think that he's super crypto. I think that he's super crypto now. I used to say I don't think that he is necessarily like a bad dude. I don't think that he's necessarily, X, Y, or Z. But I think my opinion after this last debate that I watched with him and Destiny, and I think that he's a liar. Personally, I do think that he's a liar, and I think he's an intentional liar. Because there were other times where I was like wondering, right? Like if you watched his debate, like the IRL debate between him and Destiny, he had like a kind of like smug affectation to the way that he was talking, and like, yeah, no, that's totally what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Where you can't really tell if he's memeing or if he's like just not prepared, so he's like memeing through the debate, but like. I think that this might actually just be a lying piece of shit. I'm not 1,000% sure, because he was very polite when I met him. Like, I think I might have met him twice. Very polite guy, but I don't think that he's honest. Just look at his thumbnails. It's all black people doing bad things. I think he's racist unironically. Like I used to think that, and then I waffled back and forth. But is it actually just like black people doing bad things? There are a lot of black people in his thumbnails. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just playing a character or just racist. Well, I don't think he's playing a character. That would be at least like you could like point at that and say like he's playing a character. He's not giving his true beliefs, but like he's saying that he's authentic. Well, there goes that theory about AJW. Well, hold on. Like I've said for a long time, I don't like really think that like he's necessarily a racist person or like a bad person. But I do think he's a liar. And again, JMac, I literally just said I don't think that he's playing a character. My black thumbnails, yeah, again, I don't think that that's like a good argument. It's just like the way that he navigates conversations, at least recently. I can't speak for his entire YouTube existence, but his debates recently have been really sad. Anyways,
of this channel.
I don't know what it's about. It says Destiny caught lying about AJW. Not sure.
Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers.
It's also 45 minutes. We might make it through like 3 minutes of this, okay? Hey, thanks for the follow, my man. I appreciate it.
Of this channel, my name is Sean, and today I will be unambiguously defending my own honor, because post my appearance on the Hippy Dippy stream, debate, whatever you want to call it, a bunch of different lies have been spread about me, specifically that...
Now, I don't know what anybody else's take on him. I don't know what Destiny's take on him was. I don't know what Pisco or Pondering Politics or any of the people that were in the debate with him, I don't know what their takes on him were. I feel like going into that debate, he was willfully stupid, willfully, unbelievably like bad faith when it came to like the whole discussion around the debate topic, because I don't think any reasonable person could read that debate topic and say that, unless Donald Trump enters office and then abolishes our electoral system, I don't think that any reasonable person would read the statement and say that. There was a Twitter space conversation after the debate specifically to talk about how Destiny believes AJW is purposefully lying. I might have listened to it, but I don't know. This is the drama of the video. Well, yeah, I'm just saying, going into this, before we even watch it, this is what my opinion is. All right. I think that conservatives, instead of like, I don't know. I just wish people would be like more honest about what they believe. And they didn't want to argue the topic at hand, so they tried to take a different interpretation, like halfway through the debate, about what the debate was about, and then said, well, if you can see the entire debate, then we can continue. AJW came onto the Twitter space and got gang stomped by like 4 people, just like donkey stomping on him. Is that alleged problem only around conservatives? Well, in regards to what we're talking about right now, yes. I don't watch a lot of left-leaning debate bros. So I can't say. Like, the only like lefties that I watch debate, actually, I don't know if I watch any lefties debate. I mean, I'll watch Destiny, who is a liberal, debate. I don't think that he tries to pull that sort of stuff. Unless you can pull me a direct example of him, like, well, the debate topic is this, and this is my reading of it, and it's a completely unreasonable thing, but you have to concede the entire debate if you want to continue this conversation, you know? Like, if you can show me something of Destiny doing something like that, I'll criticize him too. But Andrew Wilson was the first person on this topic to do this. Every time I use lefty or leftist, I'm talking about socialists. I'll always say liberal or lefty. I split that up because of the space that we're in. If a study came out that saying universal pre-K is the most efficient way to prevent crime, he would just not read that study and pretend he never heard it. Are you talking about AJW? I'm not sure. I don't watch enough of his content to say. Destiny is more of a shill than a liberal at this point. I don't know where you think that he's not a liberal. I would think that he would have to be paid to call him a shill, yeah? Like paid by a special interest group, and I don't think that he takes any pay from any special interest groups. I don't think he gets marching orders to make arguments. You could just like not like him. He's a shill for liberalism? True. But yeah, like I like the weaseling around that, like Andrew Wilson, Rob Knorr, and then AJW and whoever that other loser was on the panel. It's just like weaseling around the topic of the debate, and it's just like why, if you don't want to debate on this topic, or if you don't think it's a defensible topic, then change the debate topic or don't engage in the debate. That's all I'm saying. Now you guys are arguing amongst each other. Okay, we're watching the video.
That I was going out of my way to intentionally and deliberately lie about District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and enough is enough. I have watched the tapes, I have gone over what was actually said, and I have found the quote that I was thinking of in my brain when I was talking about people targeting President Trump, and I will be presenting that to you, as well as many more things throughout the course of this video. On top of that, as a little bit of a bonus, I will show you that by Destiny's own standard, one of the chief operators, one of the chief smear merchants against me, he in fact deliberately lied to me, again by his own standards. Now, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. okay?
So we're gonna knock out the Bragg thing first because I think this is one of the most prominent things that has been spread about me, but I do want to give credit to Connor, of all people, somebody who I haven't really gotten along with in the past, for refusing to buy into the idea that I deliberately lied about this.
He's willing to lie blatantly, lie. You agree that he lied about what Alvin Bragg said, right? He lied about that.
When I am making the assertion that somebody is a liar, which I very rarely do, because I think there's all sorts of delusional cope spirals that people put themselves through in order to affirm their presupposed positions. If I go through a lie, then what I have to have is I have to know that they know something and that they are knowingly choose to say something opposite of what they should in normal circumstance know.
Whatever our differences were in the past, I definitely respect you doing so. And by the way, your faith has been rewarded because I have the quote, I have what was actually said during the debate, and I will demonstrate beyond any shadow of a doubt that I am being smeared in this regard. But let us go to the point brought up by Destiny in the conversation where he demands that I present a quote about Alvin Bragg. Let's go to that so you guys can see it.
I think everybody
running on, I'm going to find a crime to prosecute them. That's totally fine.
Did Alvin say that? I'm going to find a crime?
Yeah, he said, what was the exact quote? What you call it? Cam, you were talking about it earlier, that he said he was running on seeing Trump in court. Now, you guys need to understand the context of this conversation. I will link it in full in the description of this video for you could check it out. But this followed me talking about a hypothetical pro-Trump district attorney running for a state or local office and saying that they will dig into somebody in order to find a crime to charge them with, or something thereabouts. This was not a direct quote, but this is what I was saying in that particular segment. No, I asked you a hypothetical that if this were the case, but they went through the normal legal process, you would be fine with that? That's the standard?
No, because in order to make it comparable, it would have to be like the governor of New York running on trying to...
A local DA that's very pro-Trump, 90% Trump category, finds an official, charges him with the crime that he campaigned on charging him with. They present evidence in front of a grand jury. It's enough for an indictment. Very low standard, by the way. And they secure a conviction. That's like totally legit. Now, of course, rather than properly engage with the hypothetical, these people decided that they were going to throw out a challenge related to Alvin Bragg. And at this point in time, I want to highlight something that I've been criticized for, which was tossing it over to Cam to bring up the exact quote, while I decided that I was going to go out on my own and look for this quote myself.
I think everybody would
running on, I'm going to find a crime to prosecute them. That's totally fine.
Did Alvin say that? I'm going to find a crime?
Yeah, he said what was the exact quote? What you call it? Cam, you were talking about it earlier, that he said he was running on seeing Trump in court.
Oh yeah. He specifically said that he was the person that had the most experience on the ballot with dealing with Trump in court.
Now, the reason I did this is because if you rewind the debate to when this came up specifically with Alvin Bragg, what you will discover is that the person who made the claim that I am currently being smeared with is in fact Cam.
Cool. I'll answer the question too. Yeah. So I don't think it's a threat to democracy. I think it's a bad and corrupt thing to do, but I don't think it's a threat to democracy. Democracy will not cease to exist if you vote for Alvin Bragg, who explicitly campaigned on going to court with Donald Trump. And also, Hutch, it seemed that Sean said almost the exact same thing, and then you attacked him as if he said the inverse. Again, strawmanning him, which seems to be your primary tactic throughout the entire debate.
The person who said he had the quote from District Attorney Alvin Bragg is in fact Cam.
So you are accusing the Biden DOJ of political prosecution, right?
Well, let me finish my point. So he says he should have went after him as soon as he got out of office. You had the special counsel bring charges on the classified documents case, but it would have been probably less political to go after him early when you weren't sure he was going to run rather than later. But it seems like they went after him and they put all these cases on the ballot. And again, most of it is not federal officials or the special counsel. It's local politicians that ran specifically on prosecuting Trump. And remember, normally you...
Hold on. Is he throwing Cam under the bus here? One second. Let me just do this real quick. I'm going back. And I'm also going to, he said he linked the entire debate.
Politicians act in bad faith all the time, right?
No, they don't.
Okay, so let's go back.
Thereabouts. This was not a direct quote, but prosecute them.
To say something opposite of what they should in normal circumstance know.
Whatever our differences were in the past, I definitely respect you doing so. And by the way, your faith has been rewarded because I have the quote, I have what was actually said during the debate, and I will demonstrate beyond any shadow of a doubt that I am being smeared in this regard. But let us go to the point brought up by Destiny in the conversation where he demands that I present a quote about Alvin Bragg. Let's go to that so you guys can see it.
I think everybody
running on I'm gonna find a crime to prosecute them, that's totally fine.
Did Alvin say that? I'm gonna find a crime?
Yeah, he said what was the exact quote? What you call it? Cam, you were talking about it earlier, that he said he was running on seeing Trump in court.
Now you guys need to understand the context of this conversation. I will link it in full in the description of this video for you could check it out. But this followed me talking about a hypothetical pro-Trump district attorney running for a state or local office and saying that they will dig into somebody in order to find a crime to charge them with or something thereabouts. This was not a direct quote, but this is what I was saying in that particular segment.
No,
well, if it's not a direct quote, if they're not saying like we're going to go on fishing expeditions, isn't that what the like whole contention was? Am I wrong on that? Wasn't that like what the whole contention was? Was that he was saying that Alvin Bragg was running on, you know, finding a crime to do it? And it turned out that the case was already open. The investigation was already open. Okay, 136.23. We'll start from 135. We'll get some context.
We're going to reschedule marijuana. We're going to focus more on these sorts of cases than this. Not you're supposed to prosecute this person or not. No one is saying that the attorney general is totally independent of the president. They serve at the president's pleasure. The president's just not a prosecutor the way a district attorney is.
I never said the president was a prosecutor. I said he got his prosecutors to go after them.
Yeah, but wait. So the president did get prosecutors from the DOJ to go after Trump?
No, I asked you a hypothetical that if this were the case, but they went through the normal legal process, you would be fine with that? That's the standard?
No, because in order to make it comparable, it would have to be like the governor of New York running on trying to...
A local DA that's very pro-Trump, 90% Trump category, finds an official, charges him with a crime that he campaigned on charging him with. They present evidence in front of a grand jury. It's enough for an indictment. Very low standard, by the way. And they secure a conviction. That's like totally legit.
The evidence of the crime is already in the public square.
If they think they've committed a crime, hold on, especially as a New Yorker, you don't think people have ever run on cleaning up crime, on getting rid of like the mob or the mafia, or run as a DA on doing things to get rid of people?
You're not answering the question, which is a very direct...
Okay, and what's he claiming?
Asked you a hypothetical that if this were the case, but they went through the normal legal process, you would be fine with that? That's the standard?
No, because in order to make it comparable, it would have to be like the governor of New York running on trying to...
A local DA that's very pro-Trump, 90% Trump category, finds an official, charges him with the crime that he campaigned on charging him with. They present evidence in front of a grand jury. It's enough for an indictment. Very low standard, by the way. And they secure a conviction. That's like totally legit.
Now, of course, rather than properly engage with the hypothetical, these people decided that they were going to throw out a challenge related to Alvin Bragg. And at this point...
That was fast, Wiener King. That Bragg ran on locking up Trump. Hold on. His statement was that he was like, oh, great, 343. Remember that.
To say something opposite of what they should in normal circumstance, no.
Whatever our differences were in the past, I definitely respect you doing. I have conversation that
prosecute them. That's totally...
I think everybody would
running. Okay, so running on, I'm going to find a crime to prosecute them.
It's not that. It's not just ran on locking up Trump. It's that he was going to find a crime. That was the issue, yeah? Because I don't think anybody disputes that he ran on being the guy that would be the best for prosecuting Trump. But the investigation was already open, right? Newsweek. Did Alvin Bragg campaign on a promise to prosecute Trump? What we know. Oh, look, we even got a video if it decides to play. Did you play yellow? I will be playing once I finish this game, I'll play the same guy made a Pokemon Yellow ROM hack that fixes glitches and fixes all sorts of things. So I'll be playing that now. What are we talking about now? Same guy. We've just been going back and forth in the video. But yeah, they made a Pokemon Yellow Legacy that does basically essentially the same thing. So I'll be playing that one now next. But but in terms of have I ever played Pokemon Yellow? Hell yeah, I've played Pokemon Yellow. Does it have a way to get Surfing Pikachu? Actually, I'm like 99% sure I remember that being a part of it. Yes, you can get Surfing Pikachu. They try to make it to where like all of the events that you had to go to like Target in the 90s to get the event, you can get in-game somehow.
To make a decision based on the evidence and the law, and the evidence and the law alone. Their deliberations led them to a unanimous conclusion beyond a reasonable doubt. I did my job. Our job is to follow the facts and the law without fear or favor. And that's exactly what we did here. And what I feel is just gratitude to work alongside phenomenal public servants who do that each and every day in matters that you all write about and make the press, and in lots of matters that you don't. I did my job. We did our job. Many voices out there. The only voice that matters is the voice of the jury, and the jury has spoken.
Okay. Let me just pause this so it doesn't autoplay, because I don't want to hear the autoplay. Okay, well, I guess we'll just blah, blah.
Yesterday.
Don't care. During the first half of Bragg's campaign, it was not clear that proceedings against Trump would be able to... Wait, hold on. Let's start from where they start talking about him. Bragg launched his campaign for the Manhattan DA position in June 2019, 2 months before outgoing DA Cyrus Vance Jr. issued a subpoena for the Trump Organization in order to acquire Trump's tax returns. Proceedings against Trump by Vance began in, it's funny, Vance, began in August 2019 and would continue until the end of his tenure. During the first half of Bragg's campaign, it was not clear that proceedings against Trump would be able to take place, as Trump had appealed to the Supreme Court for immunity from the subpoena. The court ruled 7-2 that he was not immune in the Trump v. Vance case in July of 2020. Due to Trump's appeal to the Supreme Court, New York officials did not receive the subpoena documents until February 2021, and a criminal investigation was not launched until May, a few months before Bragg's election in November. There was no legal proceedings being taken against Trump in the state when Bragg first started his run for DA. While campaigning, Bragg said, "I have investigated Trump and his children and held them accountable for their misconduct with the Trump Foundation. I also sued the Trump administration more than 100 times for the travel ban, the separation of children from their families at the border, so I know that work. I know how to follow the facts and hold people in power accountable." He also said that he would continue with Vance's investigation and hold Trump accountable by following the facts where they go. Bragg continued to make frequent reference to his legal experience with the Trump family throughout the campaign. Okay, so he only on stuff that was already in proceeding, like already like being investigated and all that shit. So let's keep going.
At a challenge related to Alvin Bragg, and at this point in time, I want to highlight something that I've been criticized for.
I don't like stating my political opinions because I don't want people to get mad and do bad stuff. If you're... Listen, we have freedom of speech in the United States, and we have freedom of speech in my chat, okay? And unless there's like any kind of real feeling that it could turn people into doing that, I don't think anyone will be mad. Well, actually, that's not true. But like, at least in my chat, people won't get mad. They might argue with you, but I feel like unless you're like extreme on one side or the other, your opinions aren't going to make people go out and do something crazy.
Which was tossing it over to Cam to bring up the exact quote, while I decided that I was going to go out on my own and look for this quote myself.
I think everybody would
running. Okay, so running on, I'm going to find a crime to prosecute them. That's totally fine.
Did Alvin say that? I'm going to find a crime.
Yeah, he said What was the exact quote? What you call it, Cam? You were talking about it earlier that he said he was running on seeing Trump in court.
Oh, yeah. He specifically said that he was the person that had the most experience on the ballot with dealing with Trump in court.
Now, the reason I did this is because if you rewind the debate, to when this came up specifically with Alvin Bragg, what you will discover is that the person who made the claim that I am currently being smeared with is in fact Cam.
Cool. I'll answer the question too. Yeah. So I don't think it's a threat to democracy. I think it's a bad and corrupt thing to do, but I don't think it's a threat to democracy. Democracy will not cease to exist if you vote for Alvin Bragg, who explicitly campaigned on going to court with Donald Trump. And also, Hutch, it seemed that, Sean said almost the exact same thing, and then you attacked him as if he said the inverse.
Is that not the exact same thing? Or, okay, this is at 131.
Again, strawmanning him, which seems to be your primary tactic throughout the entire debate.
The person
will not cease to exist if it's a
Bragg. If you rewind the debate to when this came up specifically with Alvin Bragg, what you will discover is that the person who made the claim that I am currently being smeared with is in fact Cam.
Cool. I'll answer.
Did you say no at any point, or did you just continue to like bolster his point? I agree. It is really annoying when you're in a debate and there's someone on your side that says something and then you get like smeared for it. That's happened to me before. But we're going to
David Weiss, the Trump-appointed special counsel, to remain to investigate his son. Donald Trump would never do that. That was actually an act of superhuman ethics on Joe Biden's part, thus proving his moral superiority.
Democracy will not cease to exist if you vote. Cool. I'll answer the question too. Yeah, so I don't think it's a threat to democracy. I think it's a bad and corrupt thing to do, but I don't think it's a threat to democracy. Democracy will not cease to exist if you vote for Alvin Bragg, who explicitly campaigned on going to court with Donald Trump. And also, Hutch, it seemed that Sean said almost the exact same thing, and then you attacked him as if he said the inverse. Again, strawmanning him, which seems to be your primary tactic throughout the entire debate.
No, he accused Biden's DOJ of political persecution against Biden's like political opponents.
I've heard Sean say explicitly throughout this debate that Biden's not involved, like several times. So
Wait, Biden's not involved in what? Biden's not involved in what?
Like prosecuting Trump.
He's not. Biden's not involved in prosecuting Trump.
Yeah, exactly, Destiny. That's the point we're making. Like, I think Sean and I both have conceded that Biden's not involved, but it seems that Hutch keeps attacking Sean for the exact inverse of everything he says. Biden being involved, even though nobody said that Biden was involved.
Because he used language talking about political persecution using the DOJ.
I actually specifically clarified that there were state, even local officials. Then I went specifically to Alvin Bragg, who is a local official. I talked about them running on these. Like, are you not familiar? I said they weren't all federal. I also want to point out that you're like, Garland dragged his feet. Yeah, it's true. The federal prosecutors all dragged their feet on this up until Trump was announcing he was running for election. And this is a criticism I've heard from people on the left and the right, that once it was clear that he was going to run, that's when they decided that they were going to prosecute. I mean, Cenk Uygur screams about how Merrick Garland should have went after him the entire time as soon as he came out of office.
He's making this point. He's making the point. Wait, he's making this point.
What a liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude.
Am I losing my mind? Is he not like making the point right now?
Office.
So you are accusing the Biden DOJ of political prosecution, right?
Let me finish my point. So he says he should have went after him as soon as he got out of office. You had the special counsel bring charges on the classified documents case, but it would have been probably less political to go after him early when you weren't sure he was going to run rather than later. But it seems like they went after him and they put all these cases on the ballot. And again, most of it is not federal officials or the special counsel. It's local politicians that ran specifically on prosecuting Trump. And remember, normally you have to have evidence of a crime before you start an investigation, not as a campaign promise, run on finding a crime to charge somebody with. But again, even then, like, people did vote for this. I find it to be disgusting. I don't think it is a threat to democracy. It shakes the faith in the judicial system, but I don't think it overthrows our democratic system because that's just a heavy burden.
Touching on what Cam said, you are saying that the Biden DOJ under Merrick Garland is engaged in political prosecution, right?
I don't know if the special counsel directly answers to Merrick Garland. Like,
no, but you said that Merrick Garland specifically announced the charges when he knew that Trump was going to be.
No, I said that Merrick Garland didn't charge Trump, and people have criticized him for dragging his feet until Trump ran for president. Could I get clarification
if it was or wasn't political?
So yeah, you're saying the exact thing that he just said.
Directly answer.
You are saying that the Biden DOJ under Merrick Garland is engaged in political prosecution, right?
I don't know if the special counsel directly answers to Merrick Garland. Like,
no, but you said that Merrick Garland specifically announced the charges when he knew that Trump was going to be.
No, I said that Merrick Garland didn't charge Trump, and people have criticized him for dragging his feet until Trump ran for president.
Could I get clarification if it was or wasn't political persecution, Sean?
I think there's definitely a political element to it. There's a reason all these cases pop off.
Okay,
for sure.
Dude, even if he did run on the idea of prosecuting Trump, couldn't he have done it because he thought that Trump committed a crime? Like, this was a criminal case. He got a grand jury. We got a grand jury to agree to an indictment, and then it was tried in open criminal court, and a jury of peers convicted Donald Trump of the crime. So even if it started off as like, well, I hate him politically or whatever, he went through the entire criminal court process in order to secure that conviction at the end of the day. So he
literally admitted that he
hold on, I want to get the standard out. So hold on, I want to get the standard out. If Trump orders an investigation into his political opponents, and then they find a crime when they're digging into him in order to look specifically for a crime, they didn't have evidence before they started the investigation, but they go through.
I know, Oreo Bandit, but this is my only form of income right now. Hey guys, if you guys like my content, here's a donation link right here. All right, your boy has $1.75 in his bank account. This is shorting my life expectancy, but I do it for you guys and for myself. So if you guys like me, if you guys want to support my content, if you guys want to help me survive until I get another job interview, right there, that link right there. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's that link for you right there.
The question too.
Oh wait, wrong one.
Through the whole trial phase, like, you know, they try whatever political opponent in a, I don't know, a county that voted 80% for Donald
you
Trump.
have to have evidence to get an indictment. You need evidence for an
And then
indictment.
they convict him. Like, that's fine as long as you present some evidence when you're digging.
Violated of the norm.
evidence
That would
of
be
the
violated of the
indictment.
norm that the president doesn't direct the DOJ. That would violate the norm.
District attorneys
Technically,
prosecute. Presidents don't prosecute. That's one of the major differences.
The DOJ serves under the president. Like, this weird idea that departments under the executive branch are like somehow above the executive branch.
They're not above. Wait a minute. They're not above. They're not above the executive branch.
He's making the point that he's saying that he's not making it in the video that we're watching.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a threat to democracy. I think it's a bad and corrupt thing to do, but I don't think it's a threat to democracy. Democracy will not cease to exist if you vote for Alvin Bragg, who explicitly campaigned on going to court with Donald Trump. And also, Hutch, it seemed that Sean said almost the exact same thing, and then you attacked him as if he said the inverse, again, strawmanning him, which seems to be your primary tactic throughout the entire debate.
The person who said he had the quote from District Attorney Alvin Bragg is in fact Cam.
So you are accusing the Biden DOJ of political prosecution, right?
Well, let me finish my point. So he says he should have went after him as soon as he got out of office. You had the special counsel bring charges on the classified documents case, but it would have been probably less political to go after him early when you weren't sure he was going to run rather than later. But it seems like they went after him and they put all these cases on the ballot. And again, most of it is not federal officials or the...
Haven't some of these cases been going on since like 2022, early 2023, before he announced his candidacy? Well, bogging down the entire discussion, at what point do you just move on and hope the audience is smart enough to see what's happening? That's something that I've been talking about a lot. I don't know. Like there are so many like reasonable conservatives out there that like I can get along with, and there are so many conservatives out there that will say like, you know, this right here is like, yeah, that's crazy that they're doing that, right? But these guys, these content creators, right? Like AJW, whoever top left is, the Rob Noors, the Andrew Wilsons of the world, what they do is like they try to stick on like one word, or they try to like find gotchas where there are no gotchas in order to build their, or to defend their case, or just to pull down the other side's case without substantively engaging in the conversation whatsoever. Like, on one hand, I don't care if someone's just like a Trump supporter. Like, on one hand, I don't. On one hand, I kind of do. But if you're going to defend a politician, admit when they do something bad or admit when they do something wrong, right? Like, you're not going to catch me defending Biden or Kamala, like, if they do something bad or if they do something I disagree with. I'll say it, right? And I have said it. It just so happens that Biden seems to be like ultra based, in my opinion, and he's done a lot of really good shit. But the debate like a loss would be the end of their career. Well, the thing is, if they can see, there are certain points that like lefties, liberals, and conservatives, depending on what their ideology is, if they concede on a certain point, it could very well damage their career. That's kind of the way that it is. Thankfully, I'm not like so married to like streaming. I'm not so married to, you know, any particular politician that I won't criticize them when they do something that I disagree with or something that I can't defend, right? Like Biden's policies on the border were dog shit. They were. They did move a lot of they did do a lot of concessions to conservatives later on, like in the past year. But what they were trying to do with the border at first, it didn't work. It helped a little bit in some, like from some areas where the migration was coming from, but in other areas it didn't help whatsoever. And yeah, there's criticism to have there. One second, let me read. I want to say a week ago I texted you and said something to the effect of debate spaces can't last because people who are disconnected from reality can't survive for long. But that's the thing. These people have been disconnected from reality for years. For years. And especially, like, once COVID hit, it, like, broke the collective conservative mind. I don't know what the happened. But they were the ones that were, like, hardcore at the very beginning of the pandemic, like, masking up, and everybody was calling them the weirdos. And then the second that everybody else was like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should be doing masks. They were like, oh, so the government's going to tell me I need to wear masks? Please. I'll never wear those horrible cloths, those diapers on my face. J-Mac, you didn't listen to a goddamn word I said. If that's what your response is, you literally didn't hear the words that I said. I want to say that there's maybe 3 big right-leaning debaters who are still alive, and they used to be the majority. Yeah, they did used to be the majority, but most of them, like, ate each other alive. Like, it's not even that they wouldn't still be debate bros on the internet. It's just that the big conservative debaters from back in the day, they all, like, backstabbed each other and doxed each other and said they weren't real conservatives and blah, 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 blah. Like, that the conservatives ate themselves alive, and that's why there's not very many of them left. And then, like, post-2020, a lot of them got banned for just, like, blatant misinformation. No, I said it wasn't helpful. A lot of what they did early on wasn't helpful. I said that their border policies at the beginning were not super good. They had to adjust. And after they adjusted, their border policies were much more in line with conservatives. And then the conservatives destroyed the bill because Donald Trump wanted to run on the border. Did you say diaper mask? I think I'm good, actually. I think I'm good, actually. I said wasn't helpful. Yes. It's just that very early on, when they were repealing a lot of those things, there was, like, already a backlog of people. The amount of crossings had gone down significantly, partly because of Title 42, partly because of Trump-era, like, immigration policies, blah, 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 blah. There was a bunch of people that were amassing at the border. Of course, when they get rid of some of these border policies, they all flood the over, and we see a lot of immigration for a long time. Yeah, they found some ways to kind of stem the tide, and it wasn't the best policies in the world, and it wasn't the worst policies in the world. But, like, it probably just wasn't, like, high up on the Democratic priority list to deal with stuff at the border, partly because Democrats don't really, like, fear brown people coming into the United States in the same way that a lot of conservatives do. So, Jan 2021. Yeah, but the second that the government said that, that's when conservatives said absolutely not. We'll never wear these masks. We'll never wear the face diapers. But at the very beginning, conservatives were the big maskers. Dem should fear illegal migration because they're all going to red states. Better, actually, building houses and giving red states more representation in the House. Well, no, because they tried to make it to where, or they might have made it to where illegal immigrants can't be counted in terms of the census for population size. Conservatives tried to do that, even though it hurts majority, like the southern and southwestern states. Is this some more Nuzlocke pain? No, I'm not Nuzlocking this one. This is Pokemon Crystal Legacy. It would be way too difficult to Nuzlocke this one.
Special counsel. It's local politicians that ran specifically on prosecuting Trump. And remember, normally you have to have evidence of a crime before you start an investigation, not as a campaign promise run on finding a crime to charge somebody with.
So right here, I'm talking about a prosecutor looking into somebody in order to find evidence of a crime, rather than you having probable cause to start an investigation.
But the investigation into Donald Trump was already underway under a district attorney Vance. So what is the argument? He went where the evidence pointed him. He didn't concoct the charges. He didn't concoct the evidence. It was all right there. It was all right there for everyone to see. Absent N95s and some quality KN05, the masks being pushed out to us were ineffective. Ineffective and less effective are two different words. Do you recognize that? What is this? Chris Langan, the man with the world's highest recorded IQ, on the effort to replace white people. Do I have to watch this right now? I don't have to watch this, actually. Jesus Christ. Why is it like every day, like an hour before I end stream, I get some like really like up news in text? Jesus Christ. Cool. All right. Let's just keep going. It's a minute. Yeah, but it's going to get us pulled into a conversation about great replacement theory. And I don't want to get into a conversation about that.
Well, I think the long-term consequences are the having the majority populations of North America and Europe and Australia and New Zealand diluted out of existence. I think basically if you're going to take, 7 billion people, only, 300 or 400 million of which are white, and mix them all together, and
300 or 400 million? I'm sorry, I can't.
Which is the normal operating procedures that a prosecutor would go through in order to find evidence of the crime. I also end this hypothetical and talking about somebody looking to go after him early when you weren't sure he was going to run rather than later. But it seems like they went after him and they put all these cases on the ballot. And again, most of it is not federal officials or the special counsel. It's local politicians that ran specifically on prosecuting Trump. And remember, normally you have to have evidence of a crime before you start an investigation, not as a campaign promise run on finding a crime to charge somebody with. So right here, I'm talking about a prosecutor looking into somebody in order to find evidence of a crime, rather than you having probable cause to start an investigation, which is the normal operating procedures that a prosecutor would go through in order to find evidence of the crime. I also end this hypothetical and talking about somebody announcing their intentions. This is something that I mentioned. And by the way, this is clearly and obviously understood because Hutch ends up responding at some point shortly after this.
He had been criminally charged and convicted on these crimes. So it's not like there was some fishing expedition.
That this is not a fishing expedition. But what I'm actually referring to exactly describes a fishing expedition. Let me play you the
Except it does. I guess he'll play a clip. We'll watch the clip. Okay.
Clip.
I will be shining a bright light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings.
This isn't Alvin Bragg. Does he realize that?
And every dealing, demanding truthfulness at every turn.
So right there, and it's dated November 7th of 2018, prior to Letitia James taking office as the Attorney General, she is pledging to a crime.
And also, this was the weakest of all of the things that people were bringing against him. Like, this is one that I didn't really care about. This is one that, like, most people don't care about. These weren't criminal charges. I know that they're both black people, but they are different genders. I don't know. Mr. AJW might not have a good eye for that.
Proud that she will shine a bright light.
I wonder if AJW made a video on the wait, where is it? I wonder if he made a video on the Olympic boxer. When was that? Was it even 2 weeks ago? I can't believe it. He didn't make a video on it because it doesn't have to do with anything criminal justice related.
Not just into Trump's real estate dealings, which you might be able to argue in some way, shape, or form there was a case in the news that she might be referring to, but all of his dealings, and she says she's going to demand truthfulness at every turn. This is a fishing expedition. When you are telling people you're going to look into somebody in order to find evidence of a
that
crime.
wasn't
And again,
Bragg.
she was the public advocate for New York City before this. She was not an assistant attorney general or anything like that. She is promising to go on a fishing expedition. This is exactly what I was referring to in this particular moment right here. And again, it got conflated with Bragg. Maybe worst case scenario, you say I misattributed this to Alvin Bragg, but in no way, shape, or form did I go out of my way to make something up out of thin air in order to tie down Alvin Bragg and besmirch his good name, which, to be clear, he does not have a good name. In fact, you are telling people you're going to look into somebody in order to find evidence of a crime. And again, she was the public advocate for New York City before this. She was not an assistant attorney general or anything like that. She is promising to go on a fishing expedition. This is exactly what I was referring to in this particular moment right here. And again, it got conflated with Bragg. Maybe worst case scenario, you say I misattributed this to Alvin Bragg, but in no way, shape, or form did I go out of my way to make something up out of thin air in order to tie down Alvin Bragg and besmirch his good name, which, to be clear, he does not.
Well, why don't you just admit that you were wrong, or that you could have made a better argument or something along those lines? Because you're playing a clip of Letitia James and not Alvin Bragg. So it feels like maybe you should admit that part, yeah? There we go. 1 second. We're going to get rid of Ember, get Flame Wheel, and then we're going to... 1 second. Let me check something super quick, and then we'll keep going. Moves. Level 30, he gets takedown. Should I wait that long? Let's keep listening.
Not have a good name. In fact, the person who attributed this to Alvin Bragg was Cam, not me, and he was referring to a different quote. And you have to remember, this election was actually occurring in 2020 because Bragg was sworn in 2021, where he was arguing on the campaign that he would be the best person to take up an already existing case against Trump, and he was citing his other lawsuits against Trump as qualifications, which is still questionable behavior, but it is nowhere near at the level of what I was talking about in the hypothetical, which again was attributed to Letitia James. So for Steven, who's been calling me a liar, who's like, oh, well, he made up this specific and all that, I want to know how you're going to justify that claim right now, because I was obviously referring to something very specific, and
except you weren't very obviously referring to something very different. Let me see what the timestamp was when he made that claim, so that we can 137:42, and then we're going to go to his video that he linked in here.
Branch, but the president, in order to make it comparable, it would have to be like the governor of New York running on trying to...
A local DA that's very pro-Trump, 90% Trump category, finds an official, charges him with a crime that he campaigned on charging him with. They present evidence in front of a grand jury. It's enough for an indictment. Very low standard, by the way. And they secure a conviction. That's like totally legit.
The evidence of the crime is already in the public square.
If they think they've committed a crime, hold on, especially as a New Yorker, you don't think people have ever run on cleaning up crime, on getting rid of like the mob or the mafia, or run as a DA on doing things to get rid of...
You're not answering the question, which is a very direct question. Would that be okay?
I can't hear both at the same time. Sean? You were saying something?
Yeah, so you're not answering the question, which is a very direct question, and now you're pivoting to a DA running on being tough on crime and prosecuting criminals in general. Like that's completely different.
General thing. People want to go after particular.
You were saying something?
Yeah, so you're not answering the question, which is a very direct question, and now you're pivoting to a DA running on being tough on crime and prosecuting criminals in general. Like that's completely different.
General thing. People want to go after particular criminals. If you think a guy's committed a crime and a DA runs on that, he's like, I think that this guy's a criminal. When I'm the DA, I'm going to go after this guy.
The evidence of the crime was already out in the public space at that point. Michael Cohen had testified in front of Congress to these crimes. He had been criminally charged and convicted on these crimes. So it's not like there was some fishing expedition. There was already strong evidence of these crimes out there in the open that had been reported on and adjudicated for years.
Okay.
Michael Cohen was prosecuted by federal authorities, am I right or no?
No, but it was for the same. It was for the same. He was prosecuted federally, but the crimes were related.
All right, but can I also get my question answered? So it would be fine if like a Trump sycophant district attorney did that.
So he's not he's not being very clear about whether or not he's talking about Letitia James or if he's talking about Alvin Bragg. They've been talking about Alvin Bragg. He brings this up in the middle of a conversation where they're specifically talking about Alvin Bragg.
Some fishing expedition.
That this is not a fishing expedition. But what I'm actually referring to exactly describes a fishing expedition. Let me play you the clip.
I will be shining a...
Yeah, you're bringing up something else. You swapped these two people in your mind. You melded them into one. I don't know if it's because they're black, or I don't know if it's because they're liberals. I don't know why it is, but you've smashed these two people together in your head and then are making a claim about one of them. And now you're, you know, a couple of days later, you're saying, well, I'm obviously referring to this, when in the context of the video that we just watched, you're not talking about her. You're talking about Alvin Bragg. Everyone's talking about Alvin Bragg.
Bright light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings. And every dealing, demanding truthfulness at every turn.
So right there, and it's dated November 7th of 2018, prior to Letitia James taking office as the Attorney General, she is pledging to a crowd that she will shine a bright light, not just into Trump's real estate dealings, which you might be able to argue in some way, shape, or form. There was a case in the news that she might be referring to, but all of his dealings, and she says she's going to demand truthfulness at every turn.
Yeah, but
this
y'all
is a
weren't
fishing
talking about
expedition.
her.
When you are telling people you're going to look into somebody in order to find evidence of a crime, and again, she was the public advocate for New York City before this. She was not an assistant attorney general or anything like that. She is promising to go on a fishing expedition. This is exactly what I was referring to in this particular moment right here. And again, it got conflated with Bragg. Maybe worst case scenario, you say I misattributed this to Alvin Bragg, but in no way, shape, or form did I go out of my way to make something up out of thin air in order to...
Then why can't you just admit that you did that? I might have been. Is that what I just heard? I want to make sure I heard that correctly.
This particular moment right here. And again, it got conflated with Bragg. Maybe worst case scenario, you say I misattributed this to Alvin.
Worst case scenario, you did.
Bragg, but in no way, shape, or form did I go out of my way to make something up out of thin air in order to tie down Alvin Bragg and besmirch his good.
Except for, like, you had all the time in the world to, like, sit there and find this quote, and you couldn't find it from him, and you continued to argue the point, and you couldn't find that quote from him, and you continued to argue the point, and you couldn't find that quote because it was someone else, but you continued to argue the point. Why the would it? Why is that the worst case scenario? That is what happened.
Good name, which to be clear, he does not have a good name.
And if that's the case, then just admit it.
In fact, the person who attributed this to Alvin Bragg was Cam, not me, and he was referring to a different quote. And you have to remember, this election was actually occurring in 2020 because Bragg was sworn in 2021, where he was arguing on the campaign that he would be the best person to take up an already existing case against Trump, and he was citing his other lawsuits against Trump as qualifications, which is still questionable behavior, but it is nowhere near at the level of what I was talking about in the hypothetical, which again was attributed to Letitia James. So for Steven, who's been calling me a liar, who's like, oh, well, he made up this specific and all that, I want to know how you're going to justify that claim right now, because I was obviously referring to something very specific and very real. It happened to be a different New York prosecutor. Now, maybe you could call this me misattributing something that Letitia James said to District Attorney Alvin Bragg. But again, the person who brought up a specific quote in this conversation about going after Trump was Cam, not me.
Correct. And the other, and yes,
he's throwing Cam under the bus so hard, dude.
He wasn't as bad as Letitia James, and there's no.
Hold on, to be clear, for Letitia, you also couldn't say anything that Letitia said that was bad. Also, the idea of a guy.
Hold on, Stephen. I do have the clips of Letitia where she said to a voter on the street that you should vote for her because she's going to sue Trump.
Now, by the way, this isn't the only time
go.
Letitia James did this. When she was approached by somebody asking her about the value of voting, she ended up responding to this person in this way.
And what would you say to people who say, oh, I'm not going to bother to register to vote because my voice doesn't make a difference, or I'm just one person?
I say one name. Donald Trump. That should motivate you. Get off your ass and vote.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally.
I love it. He probably does already.
Again, there's Letitia James saying vote for her because Donald Trump. And when asked if she will sue Donald Trump, she's not saying we'll use all the afforded legal avenues in order to challenge anything that he's doing that's breaking the law. She says, yes, I'm going to sue him. Campaign promise directly to this individual right here.
There's no.
Hold on, to be clear, for Letitia, you also couldn't say anything that Letitia said that was bad.
It's really critically important that everyone understand, as was mentioned by Mr. Bahara, that filing a lawsuit, simply opening up an investigation, can ruin lives. And so with respect to Donald Trump, we need to follow his money. We need to find out where he's laundered money. We need to find out whether or not he's engaged in conspiracy. and whether or not he's colluded not only with Putin, but also with China as well.
Now again, you have Letitia James during the actual debates of the election in September of 2018 saying that she's going to follow Trump's money in order to see if he's money laundering and whatnot. And this is a fishing expedition because, once again, she doesn't have evidence for a crime. She's promising that she's going to just look into all his transactions in order to find money laundering, but there's nothing right now that says that she's continuing an investigation or anything that they said as defenses of Alvin Bragg, because she's just promising a fishing expedition. Look, I take accusations of me deliberately lying to people out there in the audience, to my audience, very seriously. Long-term viewers of this channel know that I will go out of my way to correct mistakes, errors that I've made on this channel, with whole separate videos included in the beginning of next videos, and do anything and everything to remind you of when I am in fact wrong. In fact, even in this stream, because I believed that Cam had the goods, when I couldn't find this Alvin Bragg quote, I said, you know what, I could be mistaken, I could be wrong, but Steven, of course, had to rage out like an absolute lunatic and say that I'm lying, and then continue the lie past that point, and that's when I have to address it for this. Now, as far as the specific quote that Destiny is asking for, it does not exist. He gave caveats. He's smarter than what you go. He's smarter than I gave him credit for in my paraphrase. So
he gave caveats, not I like blatantly either misattributed the quote, not I was blatantly lying. Even if you don't want to say that, you at the very least misattributed the quote. But now you're doubling down and saying that, like, oh well, he gave the appropriate caveats, so he's smarter than that. When people watch these things and they like AJW, do they just like not see it? Hey, how's it going, Doghouse? Also, why does Doghouse not have VIP? There you go. Now you have VIP.
If you want,
I don't know how much more of this we're gonna watch, just because Jesus Christ.
Take that, that's fine. So to be 100% clear, there is no way, shape, or form that you could say me referencing Letitia James without remembering that I'm referencing Letitia James specifically in a hypothetical is somehow me lying deliberately about District Attorney Alvin Bragg. That is just not the case. Now, I do believe, and I have presented evidence for the fact that Alvin Bragg did charge Trump for political reasons. We had 2 prosecutors resign from Bragg's office because they believed that he was dropping the case after he took office, because again, it was just a campaign thing for him, and they were really angry about it. But then Bragg brings back the case up again after it is clear that Donald Trump is running for president in 2024. Not to mention the fact, as I said, that Bragg, who has downgraded over half of felony charges, and by the way, this doesn't even count the dismissals in the cases that he just refuses to charge people, somehow found a way to upgrade the charges against Trump.
A completely different point.
Again, for political reasons, so that he can say, look, he's a convicted felon based on me going outside of my pattern of behavior and upgrading charges, because specifically he was talking about a political opponent named Donald J. Trump. Now, the next lie by Destiny that I want to address that he is deliberately spreading, let's be clear about that, is the idea that I misinterpreted it, deliberately so. The prompt is democracy on the ballot. Now, I did not misinterpret that prompt at all. There was no interpretation from—
We're only 13 minutes in. I don't know if I can keep watching unless you have a time stamp that's like worth watching, but this is like very obvious. Oh, here I come? Okay.
Me at all, because I never received that prompt. I was messaged by Connor to debate up or down whether or not Trump would end democracy if elected. This is what I was offered as a debate. You can see it in plain text. And this is, by the way, what I—
Oh, come on. All right. It's going to be too small for you guys to read, but do you want to be debate partners with Lauren Southern against Destiny and another Democrat about whether or not Trump will end democracy if elected? It'll be a hippy dippy 4-person panel. When? I just got this month and I'm out of the— Are we back? Marco. Guess who's back? Hell yeah, let's go. Well, we're going to be, we're going to get through a couple more seconds of this because Doghouse told us to, but we're going to move on pretty soon off of this because Jesus.
To smear me even further, because when Connor actually presented him the screenshot and took blame for sending me this, and by the way, this is what I agreed to, all of a sudden Destiny, who pulled it up, couldn't get it down fast enough.
Okay, so I sent Lauren and Sean, and I could look up the message to Lauren.
I'm gonna send it to you.
But I sent the equivalent of will Donald Trump end democracy in 2024 or something like that, right? So that's an extrapolation. It's a little bit hyperbolic, etc. But of course, when you're recruiting somebody, you want to give them the most fiery—
Oh yeah, that's right. I was about to send a DM, like an other hippy dippy debates. Was there a DM group chat? Sondsol is back, and I will never go away again. This shit is so frustrating. Let me just get through like a couple of more seconds of this, and in like 10 minutes, yes.
Version of the debate, right? And so Lauren says, what is the exact wording of the prompt? And I did send that to Lauren.
Wait, send what?
Lauren,
can you show me these DMs somewhere?
Sure. I just sent you one of them. This is the one that was sent to AJW.
Hold on, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this though. So there must be something more.
But hold on. What I sent to AJW?
No, Pisco just linked me a tweet where it's you saying, "Do you want to be debate partners with Lawrence Southern against Destiny and another Democrat about whether or not Trump will end democracy if elected?"
Yes, that was my extrapolation.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yep. Now, one of the things that annoys me about this is that since I provided the screenshot, which by the way was demanded by Pisco, there should be no more conversation about this. This is what I was given. This is what I accepted. I would not have accepted the debate had the topic been, we're just going to argue randomly that something may damage an institution. It was an up or down question, and that's what I prepared for. There should be no argument against this because obviously this is what I was presented and what I agreed to. But instead, I get all these different ridiculous points, like from Pisco in his Twitter space, where he tries to make the case that it would have been interesting for me to bring up whether or not Kamala Harris would destroy democracy.
The one thing I want to bring up was, we're talking about, I want to kind of go back a little bit. So the whole is democracy on the ballot. First of all, this became the topic of the debate instead of, the topic of the debate became the debate, right? One of the things I had an issue with is that you could assume pretty obviously from that Trump was the one that this was being discussed about. I think that's pretty obvious. But,
come back
even
tomorrow,
if
man.
it weren't, you could even assume because of the rhetoric that has been going out there already about Kamala and being a communist and things like that, you could even assume in that end that it could go the way of Kamala. But obviously the more obvious one is Trump. And I think it was really interesting when we looked at how actual Justice Warrior was going about all this. It was really interesting. He didn't understand the debate, but he kept, even when called out on it, continued to debate from the perspective as if the topic was, is democracy going to be ended?
Yeah.
Even when called out about it, he continued. And it was not up until Lawrence Southern came in, and I could be mistaken on this, but until Lawrence Southern came in, that this entire 30 minutes of discussing what it was, that he actually speak up and go, oh yeah, this is the issue. So
it's a really good point. I want to address first the Kamala thing. So that would have been a very interesting way to take it. Like if he actually argued that yes, democracy on the ballot because either A, Kamala Harris is going to institute these communist policies or policies that are against our constitutional system, then insert da-da-da-da. Or you could take the route that, well, Kamala was appointed in an anti-democratic way I disagree with this. That's an angle you could have taken. So I think that's a really interesting perspective that the question by its terms was not candidate specific.
Now, this was very annoying because based on the prompt that I got, my interpretation of it was that it was about Donald Trump. And the reason why is because
I'm sorry. I can't. All right, Doghouse, jump into the Discord. Yo.
1 second, let me change my audio output.
Yeah, you're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Bro, okay, first of all, I want everybody to know I did not sign up for that. I literally jumped in. So a little background on that, that entire, Twitter Spaces or whatever, X Spaces. Pisco was trying to go on. He was just going to be like, hey guys, I want to answer some questions about this Hippy Dippy roundtable thing, blah, blah. Okay, man, I'll join. I was like, I had no intention for it to blow up the way it did, first and foremost, but I'm not upset at all. But yeah, so Sean does some really deceptive editing, really deceptive editing. I'll call it out. I have no problem. There are several points where he keeps pointing to saying, and this goes back to what I said in that clip you just watched. There's several points where he's like, oh, but Connor this, but Connor this, but Connor this. And there's one little spot where he slips up and he goes, yeah, me and Lauren Southern, we kind of talked about it before. And even she was kind of agreeing that it was kind of vague or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute then. Where's that conversation? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's assume that he did in fact think that it was, would democracy end? But wait, I encourage you to watch the Hippy Dippy roundtable like I did, and you'll notice you can literally go to the transcript and look up that exact prompt. Cam Higbee mentioned it numerous times, and at those same times that he would, Cam Higbee would be like, yeah, but the topic is, is democracy on the ballot? And while he's saying that, Sean is nodding. He never questions the prompt. Sean never questions the prompt. It's not until Lawrence Southern comes in that the prompt becomes a bigger issue.
And that's what's so frustrating. Again, I hate saying the same things over and over and over on stream, but it feels like the only defense that these people can come up with once they feel like their initial dumb arguments about especially anything around Trump, right? In his actions, if their initial positions that they can fight libs that never debate literally ever and never have to contest with any like questioning of their beliefs ever. Like they can beat those people real easily with these talking points. But when you get into a debate with someone like Destiny, right, or even with me, depending on what the topic is, like you have to actually know what the you're talking about. And if they don't know what they're talking about, then it seems like their default is to try and win based off of a complete redefinition around the entire debate.
And I can tell you right now, he was super ass mad, and you want to know why? Because he went in, and that conversation you just watched with me and Pisco, unless he was sitting in the chat and I did not see him, and usually verified X users usually are higher up on the chat listeners or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless he was listening, that was like one of the first things that I hopped in and said before Destiny came in, before Connor came in, before anybody came in. Pisco was just talking about, you know, the assumption of the topic of would democracy end and who would be the focus of that. And that's why I mentioned Kamala. It wasn't a critique. This is the problem with how he frames this. It wasn't a critique of Sean that he could have necessarily attacked Kamala. I wasn't critiquing him on that, right? But I'm just saying that there was multiple angles. I was disputing more so with Pisco that it could have just been strictly Trump. I was saying that you could have also attacked the view that based on what conservatives are saying, that Kamala could be, you know, the end of democracy, right? Based on how conservatives are saying with communism and everything else. And the funny thing is, there's also parts in the video that you'll notice how he'll jump around from like 1 hour and 2 minutes to 10 minutes to 2, and he jumps around. The thing is he mentions in his video that as if Destiny brought up Hitler and Nazi Germany in that example, and then he brought up Hayes Compromise, when it's the other way around. He brought up the Hayes Compromise. Destiny didn't really talk about it very much because, quite frankly, he just didn't want to. And then later on, right around when Lawrence Southern came in, did he bring up the Hitler analogy? And then Sean brought back up the Hayes. But the way he edits it makes it sound as if Destiny just free range just threw out the Hitler example. Why? My only guess is to possibly like try to ironically smear him, to make it sound like he's the crazy liberal that's bringing up Hitler and comparing Trump to Hitler and shit.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
It's super disappointing because like I don't feel like there's. I feel like it would be so fun if there were like interesting conversations. Like there are interesting conversations to be had around this, but it feels like because some of the positions that like Trump people are holding on to and refuse to change, we'll never, ever have those interesting conversations. We'll never have them. They're too stuck on defending Trump to have the interesting conversations. The conversations that could switch me over to like believing something more that they believe. I mean, like I've said this a billion times. I changed my entire like political ideology based off of argumentation, right? My entire world outlook was put on its head when I had a debate with someone that presented me with things about socialism that I couldn't argue against. The more I tried to argue against it, the more I tried to like research to find things to bolster my side, the more I found that I was just wrong. I was just wrong. My entire world outlook was wrong, and I had to make a serious adjustment. And it wasn't an easy thing, and it did take a while, right? But holy shit, I don't understand people who will never change. I don't understand people who will never concede. I don't understand people that have no curiosity about like their own side and why they believe certain things. It's dumbfounding.
I think, I mean, I don't want to levy any false accusations against Sean, but I'm highly suspicious of the timing of releasing that video. And again, the editing is, look, I'm not afraid to say it, it's deceptive. Again, because of the way that he structures his video, there's so many things that are just like left out and like contradictory. Like I said, he talks about having that conversation with Lawrence Southern, and then like 5 minutes later sits there and goes, but look at the text that Connor sent me. He's like, yeah, but you just said that you had a conversation with Lauren. So now you brought Lauren into this. What's going on with Lauren's conversation? And what you said, and to address what you said about, like, how can I have these conversations? We talked about this before. Flat out, if you basically, and I think Sean, he may have said this in a video, but like the idea that you're going to come onto a debate and like have this good-hearted conversation and, bro, you're on a online like panel. Like I've not known one panel short of like a few small ones that are like real close friends and stuff that are less, and usually it's less than 3. If you got more than 3 people on a panel, it's for blood. It's like blood sports. Like you're going nuts, right? Like you're just gonna start slinging mud, and you're there for entertainment purposes. And that's just how you have to look at it. If you want to have genuine conversations, the best way to do it is to have those conversations offline in the DMs. Because I tell you what, there are a lot of people, and whether or not you want to talk with those people, that's up to you and your moral compass. But there are a lot of people that will wine and dine you in the DMs and be your best friend and everything else. And the minute you start commenting on their Twitter posts or whatever, you'll pretend that never happened.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I wanted to provide more context to that because I've been like itching at the seams. I'm like, oh man, I finally got it. I finally made a video. Shit. Okay, how do I do this? And there's so much there that is just like, holy crap. It's ironic that it's ironic he's making a video about deception only to be more deceptive. So.
Oh shit.
But anyways.
Well, thanks for calling in. Yeah, no, it's just like I'm getting so black-pilled, and I want to have debates, and I'm going to be on a Hippy Dippy in a couple of days, and that'll be fun. But like, damn, dude, like you just have to like go in knowing that there's going to be massive cope and massive lies as a consequence of talking to most conservative, content creators. Like it's cope, it's lies, and it's willful, like just like smug refusal to accept that even though they know in their head that it's completely indefensible, like they'll smugly sit there and say like, huh, but like if you think about the connotation of this word, it's like, come on, man.
Hey, one fun one is during that Twitter space, I jumped in. I tried jumping in when I could, but I was like, hey, y'all duke it out. I jumped in. I said, Sean, look, you listed the Hayes Compromise where some of the electors kind of went against the wishes of the voters. I said, that sounds an awful lot like J6. So if you use that example as democracy being on the ballot or the end of democracy, would you say then that J6? And boy, he stumbled. And Destiny tried picking up on that a little bit. I think you see that in the video where Destiny tries to like call him out on that about whether or not J6 was a attack on democracy or whatever. So
yeah, like I don't know. I'm excited for like getting into more debates and stuff like that, but yeah.
It's gonna be fun. So
also just a quick little thing. Did you see that CTV came back?
Yeah.
Last night he was trying to do the like stream together function, and I don't know how that works, and so I didn't click on it. And I was also ending stream, but I was like, "Hey man, what the? You've been gone forever."
Yeah, a lot of conservatives come back, and I won't say who, but I have spoken to a person in very particular who has flat out admitted to me that they are here for election season and then they're dipping out. Like flat out, verbatim, black and white, like they were here for election season and then they're out. So I think the election season is bringing out a lot of the conservatives again.
Yeah, I wonder like why that is. I mean, like I know that people are going to come out for election season because the conversations are there, but like just to come in, argue, and then leave, I don't know. Maybe they just like arguing the same way I do, but
maybe you're here for just here for a good time, not a long time kind of thing, right? They're just here to stir the pot. But anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
But
catch you later, man.
It's good to later.
He's a good dude. Everyone should follow him. All right. Name and shame them? Nah. He doesn't want to get involved in the drama. He's a father of 2. He doesn't have time for the drama. Okay. Hey, Justin. How's it going? Let me see here. I think the issue is that reasonable minds can disagree on small things like what percentage of CO2 we should remove from the atmosphere to prevent catastrophe. So then we're talking about politics. Reasonable minds can't disagree. You can't fully study something and have a different conclusion about facts. I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm not sure if that's the case. I think that there's an entire there's like genres of political beliefs, and if you fall into a specific genre, and there's subgenres, and there's and there's like spin-offs and stuff like that, so that there, you can find like broad trends, and then you can find like the subgenres within. And I feel like if you're in one of those genres or those subgenres, there are certain things that you will never be able to concede ever. Now, for me, I don't even know where I'm at in that, because I don't know if I can think of a single thing that I wouldn't change my opinion on given better evidence. And again, I'll say it again, I literally changed my entire like political world outlook when given arguments that just like destroyed everything that I was saying. I was wrong, inconsistently wrong, when it came to like issues around socialism. I was just dead wrong, and I was proved wrong. And I didn't want to be that guy that sat there and pretended to argue for something that I knew was wrong, and just like constructed arguments and tried to weasel out of arguments and shit, A reasonable mind cannot disagree on a fact without different sentence of information. I don't know what you mean. Sets of information. Right, but I had a different set of information that I was provably wrong on. I had a separate set of information. Oh, it's Jover for Kamala.
Remember, someday you will all die. It's gonna happen, maybe right now. I'm so high. And that's okay. Back in the day, I was locking folks up. So get out and go to prison. Do not listen to me, and do not be birds. And let me be clear, the sky is round. The earth is blue. Howard University, you. Remember, someday you will all die.
Absolutely demolished. Okay. Let me see here. Donald Trump said he would be open to RFK Jr. playing a role in his administration if the independent candidate drops out and endorses him. It's because right now, the majority of people that are moving over to the independent vote are conservatives. Hold on. Said Tuesday he would certainly be open to a RFK Jr. playing a role in his administration if the independent candidate drops out of the 2024 race and endorses the former president. I like him and I respect him, Trump told CNN's Kirsten Holmes in an interview after a campaign stop in Michigan. Like, nobody should be debating if January 6th was an insurrection or if the fake electors plot happened or if it was a coup. We should be debating where these actions, justified actions or malicious actions. But like, we shouldn't be debating on whether it was an insurrection or if there was like an electoral coup, like put in place and enacted upon by Donald Trump. These things shouldn't be debated because it's true. It's the way that things went down. History moves in one direction. And the reason why I think they know that they were malicious actions is because they don't want to get to that part of the debate. They don't want to get to that side of the debate. All right, anyways, let's keep reading this really quick. Considering dropping out of the race and endorsing Trump. Interesting. Very interesting. Wait, is my YouTube stream still up? Because I just got an email. Okay. We are not streaming to YouTube right now. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're just streaming to YouTube or to Twitch then. I think they're left with the position that Trump was malicious, or they have to go full conspiracy brained and say that nothing is true, everything is fake. The videos you saw were fake. Trump was being good. Deep state everywhere. Yeah. Chat is a battleground today. It really is. I haven't been paying attention to the debate going on, only if I'm tagged. or if someone's directly addressing me. I don't need to. It's funny the tick you guys have when confronted by someone that rejects your accusations, rejects your personal insults, to then pretend that they're mad. Dude, check yourself in the mirror. It's an anonymous chat. What does that mean? I don't even think you guys know what... I don't think you guys even know what you guys are arguing about. 1 second. Nair said, the initial stance by Trump was fine. He thought there might be fraud, so he gathered evidence. Then he messed up and tried to call himself the winner of the election and to get it certified. Yeah, they could do all of the legal things in the world to try and find the voter fraud. Yes, I agree. The second they started making up new electoral law or like legal theories that they all knew were not legal, they knew that these things were ridiculous. That's why so many people in the DOJ resigned. That's why so many people were telling Trump, hey, this is not something that you can do. This is not a valid legal theory. Trump either fired them, they resigned, and then he replaced them with new people that would do what he wanted them to do. It wasn't a mess. It wasn't a mess up. You can find videos of people telling everyone Trump will claim the victory at midnight. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? Listen. Wait, J-Mac. Can you lay out what the argument is in chat for me, just from your perspective? And then after you lay out what your perspective on what the is going on in chat is, then I'll ask someone else. Is it just like arguing whether who's mad and who's not mad? Because that's really childish and really annoying. And I wish that you guys would be normal. Level 10, trust me, I know who this guy is. Not like in real life, but I know his internet presence. Level 10 is way too low. He's hiding his power level from you. They're charring it and making fun of them for their cope. Actually, you know what? Maybe you're not hiding your power level because that was not English. I was talking about me. Thank you very much. Listen, I don't think that you're a keyboard warrior. You're probably one of the few people that I would not fight IRL. Immediately below. Sorry, I'm looking. Okay. They're claiming it. They're claiming what? You're saying they're claiming it. And I'm making fun of them for their cope. I don't know what the claim is. What is the argument? What are you guys arguing about? And now you guys are just mad at each other for being mad on the internet. I think both of you guys are mad. That's what I think. I think all of you guys are coping. Or you two can jump into VC right now and duke it out and I'll moderate. No, I said, what are you guys arguing about? Are you guys just arguing about being mad? And then I said that would be childish. I want to know what you guys were arguing about initially. You know, I'm actually like the fact that everyone's like still not responding. I'm just going to, we're banning, accusing other people of being mad in chat right now for just today. I was just memeing that he was mad to make him more mad. Yeah, I think that they're actually mad because they're not even arguing about anything. They're just saying, I'm not mad, you're mad. You seem pretty mad. Oh, I'm fuming right now, dude. I'm fuming. I'm actually, like, I see stars because I'm not breathing enough because I'm just so seething. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else that we're going to go over? I feel like Internet Gas said something about Philip DeFranco. Was I right about that? Internet Gas? It was way up there. I can't even find it. Okay, so we're not going to watch whatever he was telling me to watch. Apparently Phil got into a dirt bike accident and then still went to the DNC. Jesus Christ. Why?
You beautiful bastards. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show. You daily dive into the news, and we have a lot of news to talk about today. So buckle up, hit that
Does he have a
like button. Like YouTube know you like these big daily dives into the news.
Show me your hand.
I'm going to take this jacket off because it's probably going to be a minute. And let's
Son of a. Show me your hand.
Take this jacket off because it's probably going to be a minute. And let's just.
Son of a bitch. I'm trying to see if that's like a finger splint. Can't really tell. Who is Defranco? He's like one of the like biggest news, like internet news shows on YouTube. He's been on YouTube for like 40 years. He's one of the old heads that's been around forever.
Sup, you beautiful.
He's interviewed major people. He's an opinionist. Okay. Okay. Oh, god damn. You just hate everyone that's not like ideologically like lockstep in the same exact political camp as you. Like it's actually annoying. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I guess I don't care now about just pull him into VC. I don't know what they're even arguing about. I don't know if there's. Oh wait, Dingo's in the waiting room. Dingo, what do you want?
Hey, buddy. It's been a moment.
It has been a moment. What do you want?
What do I want? $1 billion. Am I right or am I right? I just want to check in, say hi, have a conversation, man. Is that too much to ask?
It might be, depending.
Depending on what, my friend?
I mean, just depending on how memey this conversation is. What?
Scar, I would never be mean. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, what did you want to talk about?
Oh, well, let's talk about. Let's ask this question. I'm so glad you asked, by the way. So, Kamala winning the presidency. What are our odds on that? We seem pretty likely.
At this current moment in time, yes, but like a lot can happen in what 2-3 months. So,
dude, if I just thought about this the other day, if Trump wins Twitch politics, the great revitalization will occur. Okay.
I mean, listen, it'll be really great for content creators and comedians. It'll be really bad for everybody else.
Well, I mean, my perspective is I don't live in America.
Yeah, I know.
What I do is YouTube.
Eurocuck.
And I would say, okay, well, you're an apartment baby. I would say that if Trump wins, it would be an awesome moment for the internet, but it would also be a very bad time for the country. So, which should we care more about, the internet or the country?
I'm gonna choose the country. I could log off tomorrow knowing that Trump is never coming back into office, and I'd be fine.
To deciphering Bunker's accent.
This isn't Bunk. This is
Dingo, you asshole. Anyways, so yeah, it looks like Harris is polling ahead by 2. Trump kind of really does outperform his polling, though. You know.
What the did you just say? Was that English? Say it again.
I said Trump really does outperform his polling, though.
No, it's the opposite, right? Except for in 2016.
No, on 2020, he outperformed his polling.
My understanding is that the polling overwhelmingly undervalues Democrats since 2016. They overcorrected like majorly, but
no, in 2020 he did outperform his polling.
Where? Like nationally or?
Yeah. Pre-election polls in 2020 had the largest errors in 40 years.
Pre-election polling.
Yeah, he outperformed a lot of his polls in 2016 and 2020.
In 2016, yes. I don't know about
2020 by about like 3 to 5 points in the swing states. And okay, so the reason why that was probably because, non-incumbent party, Obama's term, and incumbent president 2020.
Well, there's all sorts of different ways that like the polling could be incorrect. I was just under the impression, like based off of like pollsters that I listened to, that since 2016 the polls have routinely undervalued Democrats. But maybe it's just been since 2020 they've been undervaluing Democrats to account for like the Trump surges. But yeah, here's the thing. When it comes to the polling, basically every single person that Donald Trump endorses loses. In every single like key what do you call them? The referendum votes around like abortion, around, a bunch of like trans bills, stuff like that. Any referendums around that usually go towards the Democrats, even though the polling looks really bad for the Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I think anyone who, hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think anyone who is super plugged into politics knows that. Well, okay, so I'm not particularly impressed with any polling. I think on majority, they usually get things pretty wrong. And considering how close this race is right now, I'm actually not sure that they're going to be. I'm actually not too sure that they're going to give us any like useful information. I mean, what? So how many? She's ahead by like 2.8, right? Or 2.
Yeah, 2.8 is what I have on the screen
Yeah,
here.
the margin of error is usually about 3.
Yeah.
So
Nobody's saying
we
it's not a tight race.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. Okay. No, all I'm saying is that yeah, Trump does tend to like he handily outperforms his polls. So in 2020, in specific, I'm trying to think. I think Florida, Pennsylvania, and Michigan were not accurate. I think he outperformed that. In 2016, we all know he did, right? But in 2020, especially, there was still that. I'd say he does handily outperform his polls because he's a closer. That's what he is. He's a closer. He's an electoral closer.
I don't know if that's true, but one second. I want to see if there is something that I can go back to 2020 or 2016 and 2020, but the last one was only showing me 2020. I want to see 2016 too. Well, you know what? Let's just go to 2020. And then let's do... You said that Pennsylvania. Okay. So 4.7 was the average for that. I don't think Biden won by that much.
Yeah.
What was it still within like 3 points of that? Was it still within the margin of error, or was it a massive error?
1 second, hang on. Yeah. In 2020, it was 48.8% to 50%. Yeah, like
so
that,
2
that
points.
That is like no. All I'm meaning is that, and this is a generally accepted fact, that Trump outperforms his polls. This is a generally accepted fact.
Not always. Like, are you just talking about specifically his race, or are you talking about like everything associated with him?
What do you mean everything associated with
like
him?
people that he endorses, and you know?
No,
things
him specifically.
Him
not
specifically.
not candidates he endorses.
Yeah,
I
even said that they had to adjust their models because of Trump's. Right?
Sorry, you just cut out big.
No, I just stopped. I've already said that they had to adjust their models because of Trump.
Well, then why are you arguing with me?
Because it sounds like you're arguing with me.
No.
And then, so they had to adjust their models, and they adjusted it so hard that it seems like it's like the Democrats are like outperforming the polls instead of Donald Trump in every election since whenever they adjusted the polls.
Yeah, but Trump outperforms his polling handily. That's why I said that. I was saying it, just based off the stuff that I've looked at. In 2016, everyone knows that. But in 2020, despite him losing, he did outperform his polls pretty handily.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe in like specific states, like it seems like in Michigan. I don't think that he. I don't think that he.
How many points was Biden had? 7.9.
Well, hold on. I was about to see what the actual results were.
It's like 3 points in Michigan.
Michigan.
And it's 270 to win. You can see it. It does to give you that information.
Oh, and 270 to win? Fuck.
Yeah, it gives you that information. You can look at recent presidential elections. So, yeah. So Trump was 47.8. Biden was 50.6. That's pretty big. No, you look up the state. Hang on, I'll just send this to you. It's 271, and there's a states page. There you go.
So you think Trump is going to win based off of this, is what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that you should, when you're looking at these polls, you should account for the fact that Trump is going to outperform.
And I also think that Democrats outperform polls like pretty consistently. Do you disagree with that?
They outperform polls? What do you mean?
Like polling
They
around.
do better than they should? Or
Yeah.
They do worse than they should?
They do better than they should. This is also
well, I
just
guess
something that's true.
that would follow, right? If Trump that would follow from what I said, right?
I'm not sure if
If-
it does.
if-
I
if
don't
I-
even
if
know
I-
what your point is.
So
Like,
if I can, I just said this offhandedly, and then you disagree, then I presented why. I think so.
okay.
No,
We can
like,
move past it, but
if Trump is doing worse than he should, doesn't it necessarily follow that the opposite candidate, because basically only two, right? That they would be doing better than they should. I feel like that follows from what I said.
no, outperforming the polls is like if I have a poll that says, I have 38% support, and then I end up getting 50%, then I have a 12-point like outperforming of the polls. Democrats consistently do that. I'm
Hold
not
on,
sure if Trump does.
I'm again confused on what you're saying. Are you saying the Democrats are doing better in the polls than they should, or they're doing worse in the polls than they should?
Generally speaking, this is my understanding. All right, I could be wrong. All right, that's all I'm saying. Right, but based off
I'm
of
saying
like
Trump
pollsters.
does worse on the polls than he should.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to see like how it goes down. But you think
Okay,
that Trump is
do you
going
want
to
to put money
win?
on it, please? Because I would really enjoy having $20.
Do you realize that I'm unemployed and like across the country and have $1.70 in my bank account right now? No, I'm not making a bet with you.
You could sign up to Project 2025, and if he wins, you could get a job in the White House.
That's true. That's true.
They would love to hire you. You've got a great schedule. Well, anyway, so who do you want to win?
I want Kamala Harris to win.
Oh yeah, I forgot she's a communist, so she's gonna give you guys like free money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's gonna get everyone. I'm gonna be the money president. Everyone gets $1 billion.
Nair, you realize this
Mars.
isn't Bunk, right? Bunk is a separate person, and he also sounds very different.
I know it. I don't even sound like even slightly close to Bunk.
Okay. Well, yeah, I want Kamala to win, and
You want Kamala to win?
Yeah.
I'm surprised Trump hasn't gone with Chameleon Kamala yet. Because he's been calling her a chameleon. But if he wants a good nickname, Chameleon Kamala isn't bad. It kind of has a ring to it. Are you there?
Yeah.
What's wrong, man?
I just don't know. Like, are you? I don't know what you want to talk about.
Hold on. Well, okay, what do you want to talk about?
You came in here to talk to me.
I came here, I was going to catch up like old buddies. Then you tried to debate.
No, I didn't try to debate. You started the debate. Okay.
I said something you disagreed.
So how's it been going? Why did you leave the internet for like a year?
I didn't leave the internet for a year.
I haven't seen anything from you for a year.
No, I mean I've probably been gone for like maybe just like 2 months.
Okay.
But now I'm back.
Well, good for
the
you.
reason why I left is because I was going on holidays. It was the summer. I was like, I want to hang out with my family, talk with my friends. I don't want to be creating YouTube videos and stuff. Like I find it when I'm during school time and like I have obligations, it's good because I go into school every day and I meet my friends and I could do some of my work when I'm in school. And I
Wait,
can also
aren't
do
you?
my
Why
YouTube work.
are you not in college yet?
No.
You were 17 last time we talked.
Yeah, I'm still 17, dum dum. The last time we talked was last month.
No, it wasn't.
Check your DMs. Remember when I sent you the funny ad? And you watched on stream? That was March 20th. Oh, sorry, it's 2 months.
Do you know what month it is right now?
It's August. That was March. Oh, sorry, I'm done with it was 5 months.
And also,
yeah, well,
when was the
I'm
last
still-
time that we talked in voice?
I think that was it. 'Cause I sent you the ad and I told you to pull up on the stream because we were in VC together.
Okay. So
I
March,
turn
5 months.
I turn 18 in November.
Oh, cool.
Which is my birthday. And it's gonna be fantastic. And yeah, but yeah, so I just now I'm getting back to school in the next couple weeks. I got this Tim Pool video coming out very soon that covers January 6th. That covers a lot of different stuff. That's getting out the door. I got a video on Destiny coming. Then, little known fact, I'm working on perhaps a masterpiece. It's titled Vosh, A Complete History of Degeneracy.
Oh,
we're gonna do everything. We're gonna put it all in a big package. Then I think I might do another Hassan video. I just don't know what there is to say.
I mean, I feel like people have already like run that topic into the dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something new to say there. There's always an angle. Just find what the angle is. So a good video maybe could be like
1 second. Letner Goat. The only question left about 2024 is, will Biden peacefully transfer power? He's already hinted he won't.
Yeah, I've heard Biden even said he's going to deploy there's these things called skibbity toilets. They're toilets that have heads that pop out of them, and he's going to use them, I guess, to secure the White House. I have heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Does this realize that Trump is already trying to set the groundwork for saying that the election was stolen? Like, and he's been doing that for, I don't know, the better part of the past 6 months. That's a grackle. He's ignore. Okay. Dingo should help tomfoolery with his Destiny video. It's been 4 years in the making. I don't know. There's some weird things about tomfoolery, and
there are.
Yeah,
there are. I mean, like
you should do like a commentary
video.
Yeah,
a content video.
There needs to be one done on him that's not 5 hours long, that like gets into the funny bits and not into like this is like the end of the world. Look how disgusting this guy is, right? Like
the problem is that it's gonna be difficult for me to do that, because like I sat on a stream with this guy for an hour before and like made fun of him for being bold repeatedly and did a whole like bold game show. So it would definitely not be an unbiased video. I mean, I think he's extremely bold. He doesn't have any hair. I mean, if I were to do a video on Tom, like, this focus of the video would probably be that I asked him on stream, have you tried to grow your hair back? He said yes. He doesn't want to be bald, but he's still bald. What does that tell you? It tells you that the frustration, the anger he feels is towards the fact that he doesn't have hair and not towards other people. So that's what it shows you. Also, it's weird to say Sondsol, but I'm looking at your face cam right now. And I feel like you would kind of look a bit like Walter White. Wait, your name was... Just brain blasted that. Have you ever tried going bald before?
No. In fact, I've taken active measures to not be bald.
You could be bald, though.
I actually don't think that I have the gene. I think I was lucky.
Who is Oreo Bandit? Is this Resiver?
No.
Who is this?
No one you need to concern yourself with. Okay.
So, what have you been talking about on stream? What have you been covering?
It's just politics, my friend.
Yeah, what kind of stuff in politics?
Really just anything that happens. A lot of it's around like the Trump stuff. A lot of it's around the Kamala stuff. But because there haven't been, until I got unbanned from Twitch, there haven't been really a lot of debates to be had or feuds with other streamers to be had. So it's just been kind of watching.
Did you hear about the cheesesteak thing from JD Vance?
Oh God, what is the cheesesteak thing? Does it have to do with fucking it?
He asked for Swiss cheese on his cheesesteak. And I don't know if you know this, but you know how every presidential candidate goes to that like cheesesteak place? It's like a kind of like a customary thing. They all go and buy one. Yeah. So he went there and he asked for Swiss cheese on his cheesesteak. Now, if you don't, this is a big no-no. Like, this is a huge no-no. It's a cultural no-no. He did not ask for Swiss. It was about Narsok's dumb. Like, I just watched a video where he says, well, that's what I would like. I would like Swiss cheese on my cheesesteak. I just watched the video, Narsok. Nice lie.
Hold on, link it. He's saying it's debunked. You're saying you just saw a video. Where did you see the video? Was this one of those AI videos? Did you get bamboozled?
No, I did not.
I should have saved.
watch this video, Sondsol. Pull this up. Blow Nair socks the out of the water. Pull this up. Watch it. He says, "That's what I would like."
I don't like Swiss cheese either, but everybody says I don't like Swiss cheese either, but everybody says it's insulting. Why do you guys hate Swiss cheese so much? What's the story?
We hate it. We just don't use it. We just use cheese whiz. That's what put it on.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's what I want a cheesesteak with whiz and onions. Sure. What do you
You
want?
said cheese whiz, you dumb. You moron.
You said he wants a cheesecake with Swiss. Thank you very
No,
much.
with cheese whiz.
No, he did not say that.
You're too
Fraudulent.
young. You're too young to claim to have hearing loss. Okay.
He said Swiss cheese, my friend.
I don't care.
This is being reported. Every major news organization is covering this information, and you, my friend, are a shill.
True. Hey, you know what? Next time you come in, you should bring in like a drama topic that's like worth talking about, that is like interesting, and not
I have one.
politics. All right. Nair won, therefore we have to end that conversation. Didn't fornicate the couch, didn't Swiss the steak. It is fun. The fornicate the couch thing is funny though, okay? The fornicate the couch thing is funny. That's why that stuck. This cheesesteak thing doesn't stick because it's not as funny. More focusing on JD Vance because scared of Trump? I barely talk about JD Vance. Lettergoat, you can come in tomorrow because I'm going to have to end stream here in just a couple of minutes, okay? Oh, yeah, that's right. Rez hates Dingo, doesn't he? Also, Trump is boring at this point. He has been boring. There's like not a lot. Like he goes and does a whole bunch of speeches, but it's all the exact same thing. There's anything new. There's no new attacks. All of his and any new attacks that do come out are like just don't land. And his speeches are just him rambling and rambling and rambling. Like, is there anything interesting that comes out of any Trump thing? Well, I was investigated. When indictments, true. Okay, really quick. We're going to oh, you. Okay, we're going to beat the Rocket exec, and I'll talk with chat, and then we're going to probably end around then. That's right, get so slow, bro. I was not prepared to go into this debate, or I'm sorry, not debate, this Pokemon battle for my life. What, are you guys arguing about tampons? What is wrong with my chat today, dude? Poison is weak to psychic and ground. My ground type is dead, so we're just going to have to go with it. Get loser. Oh, I should have brought my Machoke. I don't think I have anything that's like directly damaging to him. And I think he has a fire type. So we're gonna go with Slambini. These boys never stop the runs with a few well-placed tampons. Pff. It's just it's amateur hour out here, isn't it, Sieg? Now I'm malding. True. Okay. Mega Drain. Mega Drain. Your last move. Never mind, your last move was just to die, wasn't it? Oh, you're such a... Who you bringing out? All right, let's go. All right, let's go. Confuse right. Play RimWorld. I get too focused on RimWorld and I stop paying attention to chat and videos I'm watching, so no. Isn't bug type super effective? No. All right, go on, Deep State. Hypnosis. Son of a... Okay, Surf. Tron, do you not see that I'm playing Pokemon? You guys can talk about all the other games that I should play, but I'm going to beat Crystal Legacy before I play anything else. All right? Alrighty. As soon as we can save, we're done. New Souls game is out too? What Souls? Is there a new one? I thought they were done with them.
You did.
Jesus Christ, that's loud. Okay, last thing we're going to watch, okay?
Bring up assault weapons here, and many of you on this stage have talked about executive orders. Senator Harris, you have said that you would take executive action on guns within your first 100 days, including banning imports of AR-15 assault weapons.
That's right.
President Obama, after Sandy Hook, more than 23 executive actions, and yet here we all are today. In recent days, former Vice President Biden has said about executive orders, some really talented people are seeking the nomination. They said, I'm going to issue an executive order. Biden saying there's no constitutional authority to issue that executive order when they say I'm going to eliminate assault weapons, saying you can't do it by executive order any more than Trump can do things when he says he can do it by executive order. Does the vice president have a point there?
Some things you can, many things you can't.
Let's let the senator answer.
Well, I mean, I would just say, hey, Joe, instead of saying no, we can't, let's say yes, we can.
Let's be constitutional. We got a constitution.
And yes, we can.
Well, that's why she lost the primaries, huh? Oh, we got someone who denigrates people who served our country in chat right there. Letner Goat. I didn't realize that you hated veterans and were willing to lie about what their record was. Holy shit. Anyways, let's see here. Who should we raid into? Let's raid into Admiral Gibbs. Raid Admiral Gibbs. All right. I love you guys very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully chat will be less mentally ill by then.